I ain't too real on some G shit. I ain't too real for this weak shit. Peep this, got a new whip, have you seen it? Rolling on my wrist, have you seen it? You ain't never seen shit like this. Yellow diamonds looking like this. All white whip like this. Model bride cooking my grits. I wish I lived my life like this. Live my whole life like this. I wish I lived my life like this. You ain't never seen shit like this. Yellow diamonds looking like this. All white whip like grits. Model bride cooking my grits. You ain't never seen shit like this. A couple of my homies done switch. A couple of my homies in the ditch. Now I got a rollie on my wrist. Might pull up in something don't exist. Now young nigga getting rich. Can young nigga get rich? You know I'm the kid like Rich. You ain't never seen shit like this. Mirror, mirror standing on the wall. Tell me who the flyest of them all. Louis store, I'ma buy it all. I'ma do it all for my dogs. Run through it all just because. We slid through the cracks in the wall. Used to have patches in my drawers. Now I got blacks on the wall, man, I swear.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze, let's go.
DJ Super Blaze.
I'm making all this me. 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 I'm making all this me.
Bang, bang,
I'm making all this me. I'm making all this me.
Yeah, you listening to
I'm
Super
making
Blaze,
all
let's
this
go.
me. Just come through and float with me to another galaxy. See another form of ecstasy when you roll with me. Yeah, you know that we can't take it back from a private. I know my showing you how much that I like when you notice me and you got caught in the vibes. And now that I got you focused, bet you gon' know this, yeah. I'm making all this me. 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 Just come through and float with me to another galaxy. Yeah. Members hit my line to get declined. The mother suckers gon' have up your vibe, yeah. Notice how you occupy my mind. I just want to earn some of your time, yeah. I know I want you between my thighs. Keep me coming through the sunrise. I'm making all this me. 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 I'm making all this me.
Feeling presidential right now, you know. Feeling luxury.
I'm making all this me.
Drop back on the all black kitty days. Send troops to salute, die in the maze. Won't fall, stand true to my legacy. When I die, the whole world gon' remember me. Bang, bang, bang. Feeling presidential right now, you know. Feeling luxury. DJ Super Blaze. Drop back on the all black kitty days. Send troops to salute, die in the maze. Won't fall, stand true to my legacy. When I die, the whole world gon' remember me. My grind, my hustle, my shine. 4 words, it's about damn time. 2 straps when you cross my mind. Bring it back to the ghetto, let it all rewind. Feeling presidential right now, you know. Feeling luxury. Top back, I'm the all black kitty day. Send troops to salute, die in the maze. Won't fall, stand true to my legacy. When I die, the whole world gon' remember me. My grind, my hustle, my shine. 4 words, it's about damn time. 2 straps when you cross my mind. Bring it back to the ghetto, let it all rewind. Premonition all black in the Benz coupe. All presidential shit, yeah, I'm brand new. Homie ballin' would've thought I played for FAMU. Walk in the building, White House, caught a 10-2. Open doors up in the game, it got ran through. Suit and tie shit, in the mirror, that's a clear view. High class, man, I had to get the chair too. Man, we coolin' over here like a fan do. Bout shit, something that they can't hear, no. Count money, now they say they can't stand you. New cars, now they checking out your brand suit. Homie, mind your own biz, that's what grown men do. So you know I had to do it like a prez do. Catch me in that all black, looking like the feds do. Big body got me moving like a mobile home. Do it bigger, new number to my mobile phone. Top back, I'm the all black kitty day. Send troops to salute, die in the maze. Won't fall, stand true to my legacy. When I die, the whole world gon' remember me. My grind, my hustle, my shine. 4 words, it's about damn time. 2 straps when you cross my mind. Bring it back to the ghetto, let it all rewind. Top back, call me all black kitty day. Make sure the whole world gon' remember me. Top back, I'm the all black kitty day. Come on, money on my mind, I'm talking 7 figures on me. Paparazzi at the door, they taking pictures of me. Turn the speakers up, I'm going past the Richter, homie. Smoke up in the air, evacuate the ceilings on me. Upper level, you can see the presidential rollie. Ballin' hard, that's why I need security to hold me. Walk around, you see the marble light up right below me. Getting money, I'ma really need for you to show me. Big cars, real estate, yeah, I'm about that. Class is so big, when I talk, I hear it shout back. Money stacked, I got a couple bros to count that. Check books, I got a cuss and never bounce back. Top back, I'm the all black kitty day. Send troops to salute, die in the maze. Won't fall, stand true to my legacy. When I die, the whole world gon' remember me. My grind, my hustle, my shine. 4 words, it's about damn time. 2 straps when you cross my mind. Bring it back to the ghetto, let it all win.
No wonder why you don't get this. No, you ain't cross your T's and you ain't got your I's. We got some unfinished business. Niggas.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
DJ Super Blaze.
No wonder why you don't get this. No, you ain't cross your T's and you ain't got your I's. We got some unfinished business. Nigga. No wonder why you don't get this. No, you ain't cross your T's and you ain't got your I's. We got some unfinished business. Nigga. Now come and take a look through my perspective. School of hard knocks was struggling, was my elective. Shit was reckless, so I had to always cock the heckler. Put under pressure, so that's why the shells would get projected. My mind protected, I stay focused, boy, if you ain't noticed. When it come to my thoughts, I'm an S63, you just a lotus. Your brain small and compacted. That's why you contracted to a big-ass record label where the pay's lacking. But you ain't know that, too late to go back. I'm at the end of Roy G. Biv, where to go that. I paint the picture, you can keep the Kodak. My cherry hit a waste, I think it's time for me to go back. Back to the ground, build it with supreme beings. Trying to build my mind to see what the Almighty seeing. Dark should come to light, so ain't no way that you can play us. I'm turning in my black fez for the erasers. No wonder why you don't get this. No, you ain't cross your T's and you ain't got your I's. We got some unfinished business. No wonder why you don't get this. No, you ain't cross your T's and you ain't got your I's. We got some unfinished business.
They try so hard to keep it black, but thank God I can see the light. Wanna keep me in the dark, but now you see it shining bright.
Now come and take a look through my dimension. A young God, I just came down from my ascension. Protect the 12 tribes, guessing I just lost prevention. The type of things I'm seeing, guessing that I shouldn't mention. If I don't talk, then I'll be leaving you up in the dark. Hate shaking up the saying that they use the heart. I'm thinking, what's the motive? Killing parts of mankind. The type of shit that make me blow up like a landmine. So I collect my thoughts and build it with supreme beings. Trying to build my mind to see what the Almighty seeing. The dark should come to light, so ain't no way that you can play us. I'm turning in my black fez for the erase. No wonder why you don't get this. No, you ain't cross your T's and you ain't got your I's. We got some unfinished business. Nigga. No wonder why you don't get this. No, you ain't cross your T's and you ain't got your I's. We got some unfinished business. Nigga.
You know everything is vintage.
Everything is classic. Cause ain't nothing new under the sun. That means it's been done before. But not like this though. Yeah, the guy flows giving with such precision. Flow like a Maybach, that's what keep me driven. Roof partition, scribing to the cosmo, omnipotent vision. I'm everywhere, tell me what I'm really missing. Traveling man, jumping past fifth dimension. P now, too wide open to see religion. Resonating way too loud for me to listen. Is you listening? Merc Kush jumping out the gym like Blake Griffin. Have your mind somewhere in the ethers missing. I cook food for thought and they proceed to listen. Cause my flow's nourishment and my words are living. See my tongue way stronger than that gun you gripping. Cause a big bang like the birth of earth was given. Get missing through the instruments and melody. I don't make music, I compose sound therapy. I think I'm Nick Tesla, Bob Marley, master of ceremony, nigga, I'm God body. Cracking up a bottle open and I'm calling Baron. Osiris Green, Mosra beads got them knocks staring. You know, everything is vintage. Everything is classic. Cause ain't nothing new under the sun. That means it's been done before. But not like this though. Yeah, the guy flows giving with such precision. Flow like a Maybach, that's what keep me driven. Roof partition, scribing to the cosmo, omnipotent vision. I'm everywhere, tell me what I'm really missing. Traveling man, jumping past fifth dimension. P now, too wide open to see religion. Resonating way too loud for me to listen. Is you listening? Merc Kush jumping out the gym like Blake Griffin. Have your mind somewhere in the ethers missing. I cook food for thought and they proceed to listen. Cause my flow's nourishment and my words are living. See my tongue way stronger than that gun you gripping. Cause a big bang like the birth of earth was given. I get missing through the instruments and melody. I don't make music, I compose sound therapy. I think I'm Nick Tesla, Bob Marley, master of ceremony, nigga, I'm God body. Cracking up a bottle open and I'm calling Baron. Osiris Green, Mosra beads got them knocks staring. I think I'm Jeff Fort. Noah Drew, paint pictures with these words, man, it's what I do. Shouts out the Thriller campaign, nigga, what it do? Keeping everything kosher, no Jew. How I ride on the day that Noah would die. I'm a rule back, we supposed to ride. How I ride on the day that Malcolm died. By any means, I'm living my life. Hey, since an adolescent, be getting it right. Cause the people who were pressing their caring for life had to make my own way from nickel and dime. Till a nigga graduated and got me a pine. Where I'm from, man, them boys ain't playing around. Hopping out ski mask, they laying it down. Just because you match your description. Even though we all know it's fiction. All they really want to do is convict them. Forge his name or make up a victim. When it's feeling like the world is against them. It's all good, nigga, galaxies with them. It's all good, could a galaxy with them. It's all good, nigga, my yacht with them. Hey.
Yeah, you listen.
Shouts out to my ancestors.
Let's go.
Oh, wow. Thriller campaign. The real is.
Yeah.
Live life always. Y'all know.
Hey,
Y'all
man,
know.
all
My
I'm
folks.
saying
My
is,
folks.
nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
On the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, highway ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They too mad to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man zone.
Yeah, you listening to Super Plays. Let's go.
Hey, man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
On the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled, highway ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hot and black was never on your side. They too mad to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man zone. And I ain't talking shit, this my definition. If being savage was our nation, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the God to the gate. So when they say they fear God, now you know what they made.
Shoot song, move song, shoot song, move song. Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down. Shoot song, move song, shoot song, move song. Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go down.
Every day my niggas dying, they don't know the truth. How the hell you close to God, we don't know it's you. Yo, how the hell you supposed to survive, we don't know the shoot. He should've died, you let him slide, cause he look just like you. I tried to tell him all skin ain't kin. Everybody ain't your partner, everybody ain't your friend. How the hell they supposed to help when they the ones that put you in? They don't struggle how we struggle, they can't get it how we live. Can't be scared to die when we already dead. Either way, your life is stake no matter how you play it. My higher self said we should choose remain godly. My lower want these motherfucking bodies. Infiltrate they circles like a motherfucking Audi. Take them to the south and put them down like OG Bobby. They don't want equality in this club, they want these problems. Killers right beside me, slab full of chicken models.
Shoot song, move song, shoot song, move song. Put us in the same room, he gon' go down. Hit a nigga with that boom, he gon' go, 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 he gon' go.
Yeah, you listening to Super Plays, let's go.
Yeah, rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated.
Fire!
Yeah, rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah, God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English plotted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to something. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your thought. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust a pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our vernacular. They get paid and praised by the dollar long as they keeping us stagnant. And niggas think they woke, huh? Like you could change a whole world through a vote, huh? Like slave masters willing to let their slave go, huh? That slave master was probably your kinfolk, huh? History in reverse, a black king strategy. When blacks were your majesty, they always had your pyramid, but point to where the cash was be. Aristocracies with your last name patent accurately. Yeah. And I ain't even tell half the shit. Like, I ain't even tell a quarter of the shit. I'm just getting started.
Yeah, you listening to Super Plays, let's go.
I'm busting guns and all this weird shit. I'm trying to get my people in the mix. So we gon' die every day. Swear we gon' die every day. They say Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white. Drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill your man, take your land, slave your kids, rape your wife. Why y'all look so mad if all this shit I say is true? Why y'all look so mad if all this shit happen to you? White man quick to tell you was a slave, nothing before me. He himself only been free since 1840. On recording, I'm an ancient Egyptian from Atlantis, headed straight for Canada, that's Israel. Nothing fake about me, no capping rapping. I just fed the ink and I'm digital. No caveman, I'm original. Kentucky fried, extra crispy. Wear a lot of gold, cause my family history. I'm the guy to know, I bring death to history. But we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. So we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Power, only respect power. Respect power. What's been said can't be said no louder. Stand for something, or you die a coward. They bombed our churches, set our kids on fire. Police keep embracing cause they backed up by the nation. Nation ain't complaining cause them Indians still hanging. Comanche, Sioux, Apache, ain't no history in blackness. No reason for that chatting if you bitch up when it's action. AR on my body, tell the bro to grab the shot. It loading up that new edition, finna hit him with this bobby. I can't shoot the shit, but 30 shouldn't miss. 54 races, 100 for his click. Anytime in prison, they don't want the shit. They don't want the problems. Snitches get the stick. Talking all that hatred, end up running like a bitch. Quick to call the laws, quick to play the beat, 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 play the beat.
Still unamalgamated. Heartbeat, the sound of the bass drum. Come with your best shot, I'll take one. Rumble in the jungle, I'm a lion. Stand up for your Masta nation. Hey, for these generations, we the people lost but not forgotten. Tribal rivalry is the problem. One love, the key for what we locked in. Don't call me a doctor, but I will be your medicine man. We're all from the melting pot, so everybody in the crowd is a Native American. Like me, can't you see? The enemy is a L-I-E. One family tree we are. The truth is like smoking Joe, and so far, the bigger they come, the harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, 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 y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. I rule my dominion. I'm part Asian, Indian, Dominican. Back to Hindu, Dravidian, so Mexicano, loco, man. Yes, Egyptian fits my description. Yes, I'm training hard for the mission. Yes, I'm a country boy from the south, and mama said knock you out. I'm in the ring like. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. One with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. One with the soul of a warrior, I will. If you're down for one love and one people, let me hear you say, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, 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 hey. One finger in the air, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. Somebody wanna y'all see me break it down, down, watch me break it down, down, watch me break it down. Somebody know that y'all must see me break them down, down, yeah we break them down, down, yeah we break them down. The bigger they come, the harder they fall. Bring on the giant, I'm ready to brawl. No giving up, flowing in my veins. Like a champion, I feel that I will never surrender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will remain a contender. Born with the soul of a warrior, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Stand strong.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Osiris. I don't need no driver license, no. Just a beauty like a license. That a ride or die and steal the show. You know they try to drown me in Admiralty, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the sea like I'm JC. Now I'm doing bigger, better. I'm changing atmospheres. Never take the meditation clears the mind. Keep it so clear. Don't you let them use you. Keep your weapon near. Celebration is the only way out here. You gotta be tired of dying and burying people out here. I know it's hard cause they shoot first. They pull up, yeah, they click clack, they do dirt. They go home, then they'll get back. But they can't bother me, nah. Cause I'm not property. It's essential, essential, it's essential. Essential, it's essential, it's essential. Yeah, this the mission, yeah. To be free and clear. Living off the levy like a trillionaire. This the mission. I ain't gotta care. Living on my dream and killing all the nightmares, yeah.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way, yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Morrid and porridge. Kids get their money off on it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah, we got the goods. Good of them assets, good of my fat. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We gonna smash that, be prepared to hit the gas. Yeah.
Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the target in your hands, switch the game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, and we travel. Drive. Blood eye, and we travel. Woo. That's my child. Woo. Blood eye, and we travel. Hey, hit him with the high, yeah. Sherry no haka from Virginia. Yeah. I know I'm more because I'm less. I know I'm more. I passed the test. We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melanesian, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, and we travel. Drive. Blood eye, and we travel. Woo. Just my child. Woo. Blood eye.
Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Part of my autonomy, I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white Aborigine. Aborigines are called...
We'll play that back one more time, you heard me? Play that back one more time, you did. Tap in.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Blaze.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tribe to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. But you never find a white Aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are Aborigines, but you don't like to be called an Aborigine.
Yeah, tap in, tap in. Can y'all hear me? We live? We good on my side? Y'all can hear me? Tap in, tap in. It's the first of the month. It's the first of the month. It's still summer. It's hot down here, by the way. I'll let you know it's hot right now. The AC's blowing and all kinds of stuff. It's the heat. Oh, at the same time, though, shout out to Music Media Lounge always. We live in the booth. Shout out to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm, local area, wherever you might be at. Shout out to the nation. You know what I mean? Shout out to the international folks that tap in with us. Shout out to everybody around the world. You know what I mean? Aboriginal Wall Street. You know what I mean? This is the first of the month vibe. We've been doing it for a minute. You got to go back through the live shows and see we've been laying that out. And our guests been with us for a minute. We're going to be adding more guests like we is tonight. And, we're going to be talking about some things, ethno-aggregate. You know what I mean? Based off the ethnogenesis that, Estelusti are dealing with in current day time. You know what I mean? And the things we got to face economically and politically. You know what I mean? So, Aboriginal Wall Street, you know what I'm saying? But once again, through the campaign, the harsh reality is live life autonomously, you know what I'm saying? Always. So it should be 2 A's. So look, like, you know what I mean? Anyways, though, we have a campaign, you know what I mean? In the Autonomous Party. Shout out to Social Club members, Maroonville, you already know what it is. Address me as Estelusti, it's your boy Mac Hater. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man God of Green, Baron P. Blaze in the mix, campaign mix 8 to 9 o'clock. You know how that works. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Listen to us live right now. And whoever might listen after the fact. You dig? I'm going to play a quick song and then we're going to go into something before our guests come on. I want to get that mound building vibe real quick. You know what I'm saying? I want to get that mound building vibe, being that we building the Aboriginal Wall Street around the mounds and shit like that. Blaze, give me that real quick. Let's go.
I've been building mounds, now the mounds turned to pyramids. School of thought, follow God, fuck what your religion is. Y'all niggas look small from the view of my pyramid. Hey, look at that from my pyramid. I've been building mounds, now the mounds turned to pyramids. School of thought, follow God, fuck what your religion is. Y'all niggas look small from the view of my pyramid. Hey, look at that from my pyramid. School of thought, I was building mounds, all I did was dig. Now I'm building pyramids. Mama, look at what I did. Cut off the leash, took off the hook. The world brainwashed off of just one book. Same book till my mama turn her other cheek. Don't bring me no pics, that shit get cooked. Did my research, found out my worth. Shit, I own everything on earth. That's why the Elohim with the young God like me to cast off who rocks pussy knockers in the dirt. Master ceremony, listen what the God say. Manifest life off of what I say. Parasite D-I-A-Y-A. Pour up the liquor, then I say I shake. I've been building miles, not a mouse. Turkey pyramids, school of thought. Follow God, fuck what your religion is. Y'all niggas look small from the view of my pyramid. Hey, looking down from my pyramid. I've been building miles, not a mouse. Turkey pyramids, school of thought. Follow God, fuck what your religion is. Y'all niggas look small from the view of my pyramid. Hey, looking down from my pyramid.
I'm from a time and place where there's no time or space. Far beyond the heavens, way beyond the realms of outer space, where birds cannot fly and planes cannot go. The blissful land of Dharma Setra, the infinite abode of the soul. I'm from a galaxy far, far away, but I'm going home. Wish I could stay. See you later, Earth. I'm from a galaxy far, far away, but I'm going home. Wish I could stay. See you later, Earth. Samadhi, Samadhi, Satnam, Samadhi, 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 Satnam, Samadhi, 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 Satnam, Samadhi, 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 Satnam, Samadhi. Stay free.
Stay free, you heard me? Man, let me tell you something. Storm everywhere in the world. You know, there's a lot of things going on. They pulled me back up, God. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world. I've been seeing a lot of things. And recently I was watching an old school movie. Anybody remember Geostorm? The movie called Geostorm? You know what I mean? It's called Geostorm, right? So, you know, this is came across my head. So me and my wife watching Geostorm, me and Nancy, right? And literally the illest part about it, 'cause I've seen pieces of it before. It's like you watch something back in the day and you catch it again, you're like, okay. All right, but this time around it clicked, something clicked, and it happened at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Geostorm, right? The man said, you know, crazy twist to it is, and I might be ruining it for you if you ain't never watched Geostorm, is that the president biometrics is built into the kill switch of the satellites above the earth. And the satellites are basically turning someone sabotaged with a virus to be able to make all the satellites turn on. Some of them are making areas in the world go freezing. Other places go lava hot. You know what I'm saying? Other places got tornadoes and hurricanes, tsunamis, depending on the region where they are. Well, it's cataclysm shit going on, right? Now, this has all been planned by the mind instead of a man with technology to be able to have a plan to say, this is how we're going to reset the world. You know what I mean? God, to reset the world. And in the reset, basically was the man closest to the president. You know what I mean? He had this plan that he was, once the president was out the way, then he would now be automatically put in the seat. And after all the cataclysms, it would knock out all their enemies on a geo level, on the worldly level, and then they would rise back to being in the supremacy that who they are. And the man said, craziest part that kicked in, right? I just gave you the narrative of the Geostorm joint. Is the dude said when he got caught at the end of the movie. And the president was like, what would make you do this? And the man said, because we're going to return this country to its supremacy before 1945 when we weren't just a bank. They dropped a jewel. You know what I'm talking about? 1945. He said, return it before the time when 1945. when America was more than just a bank. Aboriginal Wall Street. That was my thoughts. Yeah, I caught that in that joint. Drop that jewel real quick, because we on the economic level of things, so you might want to go back and catch that. Like I said, in the movie, if I could play the clip, I would play the clip. It was like when I watched it, I was like, oh shit. I go, that's the jewel right there in the whole joint. That's the jewel. Watch the whole shit just to get that part. Sometimes you got shoot a meat and spit out the bone. Now, the geo part too is kicks in because of the control of weather and shit. You know what I'm saying? And people be talking about weather machines and hurricanes and you know what I'm saying? Lasers being shot in the air, making it rain, and you know what I mean. So we know these satellites are out there. We got satellites out there. I don't know about people talking about people walking on other terrains outside of this place we call Earth, but we know they're shooting. They got satellites up there. We all know that, right? Because technology and shit. So the fact of that just kicks in with the technology now and how they got it. You know what I mean? Imagine above you just a whole bunch of satellites. Them bitches come crashing down or something happens. So like that. A geostorm. I don't know. Either way, Aboriginal Wall Street. Something else that just took place before I start pulling up on us is you go to the joint that I sent you, the HR joint. You know what I mean? We heard maybe within the last 60 days during the summer. It was a hot summer. And Supreme Court did something dealing with the race and slavery thing. You know, a lot of people be talking about reparations in California's reparation bill, you know what I mean, tied to Equano. I always say his name wrong. John Stewart. However, yeah, he tied to the slavery thing. However the case might be though, Congress has now put this out. So if you haven't been following, because this, we're talking about politics and economics, you know what I'm saying? This is political for anybody that's tapped in on these topics of things, you know what I mean? So this is the HR 4321. No bailout for reparations act. They got a whole act out saying no bailouts for reparations. Now, it's going to come down. This is from Congress now. This is what they're proposing. I know a lot of folk gonna be mad about this, but no, I'm just presenting the information. You know what I mean, because I ain't hear nobody, on Clubhouse or Facebook really post this like this. But however the case might be, you know what I mean, 118th Congress, first session. You know what I mean. This is what's going on to prohibit the United States government from providing bailouts or other financial assistance to any state or local government that enacts any law providing reparations for slavery and for other purposes. In the House of Representatives, June 23rd, 2023. You know what I mean? That happened during the summer. You know what I mean? I think when Supreme Court was talking about race and slavery, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just tied to it. But I didn't know at the time, because I was really, still trying to understand, is this a separate? When this came out, because it would put on me, shout out to Opie. You seen this? I'm like, nah, I ain't know. Nobody told me that, because we just seen the Supreme shit. So, to prohibit United States government, again, as it says there underneath a bill. You know what I mean? And it's, I know, I just want people to see it for themselves. We're showing it to you on the Wall Street while we're walking down the street. We want you just to be highlighted. Huh? Section 2. Section 2, prohibit, prohibition. See, I've been messing them words up. Boom. It says prohibition on bailouts for state and local governments carrying out reparation programs. In general, United States government, including the Federal Reserve System and independent agencies, may not provide any loan, grant, or other form of financial assistance to the government of any state or political subdivision thereof, or any agency or instrumentally of such a state or political subdivisions that enacts into law any program providing reparations on the basis of number one, what it say? Slavery. Ain't that some shit? Clearly. What did it say after that? Race, ethnicity, national origin, or historical practice related to thereto. You heard me? They putting a stop to this rhetoric that they saying. Y'all running around talking about we gonna do this a certain way. They putting a stop to it. You heard me?
They say, oh, you just think you can do it.
Okay, but that ain't gonna be on us.
But guess what?
You
No more bailout bread from us.
Get no more bailout bread if you do that shit. You're on your own if you want to go ahead and do that shit, state by state. The federal,
That means basically
they stuck.
the state saying they pulling away.
They pulling away if you're gonna do that shit. Yeah, you doing that on your own.
More government aid, baby.
B, application. Subsection shall only apply to the unit of government so enacted in reparations program. So now,
So if that's the federal government telling that to the states, that means the federal government is like, fuck reparations too.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, reparations. What? Who? Slavery? You want us to do what? You want us to do what? Now some people ain't gonna like this. I'm just showing you what the bill say, because for some reason, they say, us folk that be saying we indigenous to the land with our mixtures and things, and what we be saying, the angle of what needs to be repaired and reconciled and reformed. You know what I mean? Ain't necessarily based off of slavery. You feel me, God? That's what we're not really supposed to be looking at. You know what I'm saying? But they got everybody looking at that, and it's the own people that's really pushing it the most. You know what I mean? I know, because I don't really see a whole bunch of white people running around talking about they want reparations, even though we just showed you last week that they went through slavery too.
Some of them have claims.
And they got claims for it too, right? They got claims just like they say black folk got claims. That's why Indians got claims too, right? Because some Indians could say they were enslaved too. So they really can't put it based off of a race. For you to say, oh, it's just black folk that was enslaved. No, everybody went through that shit. So they're not going to politically try to divide one group of people to say that you're more important in slavery situation. Yeah, nah, bro, they ain't doing it. I mean, this is what they're saying. I don't want y'all to be mad at me. Go back to the top and show the folk real quick, just in case they missed it, the top where it's coming from, so they won't think we here spreading rhetoric, or pseudographia. You know what I mean? For HR 4321, no bailouts. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? No bailouts for Reparations Act. They're gonna be mad about this. But we want to make sure we show it to you on Aboriginal Wall Street for those, that tap in and be into this political part of things. So that's why we going. Oh, matter of fact, I didn't get to do that, but can you put the joint? Can I get ethno aggregate? Can I get ethno aggregate? And then after that, I think we should be almost ready. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I bet we should be almost ready. So I want to put that there, but we're gonna pull up ethno aggregate real quick, and then we're gonna pull up our guests for Aboriginal Wall Street. So I thank everybody that's tapped in with us live once again. You know what I mean? I want this to sit in your head now. When you go do the research, you see the bill be put in your face. You go, you don't believe us, go tap it in yourself. Put it in there. Matter of fact, when you get a chance, God, put that in the chat too. You feel me? Drop this bill in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Let them take it with them. Live. You know what I'm saying? Because this is not something we trying to, because we know a lot of people be talking about it, but you're telling you, there's other ways we got to move. There's other things we got to do. There's other things we got to do. They be real quiet about this kind of stuff, right? Hey, I'm glad that the federal part actually did that, because of the fact that who they presented with the slavery narrative, you know what I'm saying, could be now like dismissed, because that narrative wasn't going to work anyways. You know what I mean? Like that shit was something that was like, you could see through all that shit if you do a little, investigation behind the scenes of what they're talking about. You feel me? You got it? Boom. All right, so ethno aggregation is best defined as the voluntary concentration of individuals and their resources around their ethnic or language commonalities for the purpose. You know what I mean? Now, we've been telling folks you're going to have to move autonomously in your manner, dealing with individuals like-minded like you, basically, to have certain things in common, ethnically, language-wise, community-wise, common union, you know what I'm saying, wise, you know what I mean? And you have to reform yourself, you know what I mean, to repair yourself, and then at the same time, do what is just due based off of social justice is, a reconciliation for the things that we can prove technically that took place to our people, right? But see, it's not going to be tied to what we showed before. And that's what, the Autonomous Party. I have to, tell you that now that you saw that, these are the things you can do autonomously amongst yourselves and your like-minded groups of people to do things on a social, political, economic, and cultural level. You know what I mean? It's a spectrum of things you have to tap into. You can't have it one-minded based off of reparations and slavery. However, I'm not saying that slavery is right for those who went through it. We're not throwing no pun at anybody's ancestry that's been caught up in that situation. But on Aboriginal Wall Street, we're going to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Pull up our guests. We'll keep it 100. Let's get to it. Nope, that's the proof guy. All right, we're going to go with Antoine first, though. Antoine.
What's going on? What's going on?
How you doing, man? Appreciate you pulling up on us on Aboriginal Wall Street.
I'm blessed, man. It's my pleasure, man. I love what you guys are doing. That bill you were showing is pretty interesting, man. I'm surprised. They're putting it out there right there in broad daylight.
Yeah, I mean, you see it. I'm not making it up. It's an HR bill. See
Not at all.
I'm just showing the people the source. That's how we do it over here.
Hey, that's good research on you guys, man, to even find that, man. Nobody looks at those bills, man. That's very impressive.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, if you need a little help, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I need to make an offer, man.
Hey, you might want to tap in with the party for this, you know what I mean?
I want to join the movement too, man. I think I can contribute some things, man. We can work together.
We can tap in, man. That's what this is all about. That's why we brought you on the Wall Street. You're our first actual Esquire that walk up on this on Aboriginal Wall Street.
I'm the first one, huh?
You're the first one we got on here.
Don't make me the last one, man. You better treat me right.
I'm gonna treat you right, bro. I got you right, man. So I ain't gonna try. I ain't doing nothing incriminating to you tonight. You know what I mean? Oh, shout out to my man Sebastien, the approved guy, and just to introduce you guys, Antoine Dumas, the approved guy. He's been with us for a minute now, actually from the beginning, along with my cousin Masta who be doing Money Corner. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Sebastien that's up here too.
What's going on, boss? How you doing, man?
Can you hear us, Sab?
Oh, 1 sec. I'm getting set up here real quick.
Now I hear you. Hear just let you know you live. Yeah, I hear you.
You got me live right now?
I mean, you live. You live. You up here.
All right. Well, let me fix that real quick.
No, you good. I just wanted to say hello to you before, because you up here, and I didn't want to act like you're not there before we go into everything.
All right. What's up, y'all? Peace. Thank you for having me.
No pressure, man. So, Antoine, man, I want you to introduce yourself and let people know who you are and what you do, and from there we can get into some, some questions and stuff like that.
Sure, of course. So my name is Attorney Antoine Dumas. I am an attorney down here in South Florida. Office is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. What can I say? I run and operate Talented 10th Law, which exists to help the oppressed people, historically oppressed people, to maximize their protection and prosperity in the courtroom and the boardroom. Right. So that's the official line. And so basically what that means, if you haven't peeped it already, Talented 10th comes from a concept put forth by W.E.B. Dumas. And essentially he was saying that, Jim Crow, oppression, racism, whatever, it can't hold everybody back. And of course, no matter what happens, no matter what they throw at us, 10% of the race is going to kind of sift through the cracks and quote unquote make it. But out of the ones who make it, out of the 10% who makes it, he predicted only 10% would give back and help those other 90 to come up. And so the 10% of the 10%, he called them the Talented 10th. And so that's how I came up with the name of my firm. That's the mindset that I have, the type of people I want to serve, and the type of impact I want to create on this world. So I think you and I, from day one, when we met, we realized how aligned we were. Definitely coming at it in different ways. You got the nice looking hip hop background. I wish I had done that, man. That looks really good. But we're both at the same destination. We have the same mission in mind. And so, that's what I do. But I just do it through my law firm. And specifically as a business lawyer, I help, like I said, business owners maximize their protection and prosperity in the courtroom and the boardroom. So that's the big thing that I do. Hope that makes sense.
It does, man, because you know what's crazy about what you do, and a lot of people might not know this, every person that has a business, and if something was to happen lawfully with their business, technically they can't actually go into court and defend it. They need a lawyer at that point. Am I right
That's a
about
great
that?
point. That's a great point. So outside of small claims court does have an exception where a business owner can represent their own business. But outside of small claims court, and that's actually a new development. That wasn't always the case. But in county court, circuit court, if you're being sued for anything more than 15,000, as an individual, you can always represent yourself. But if someone sues your business, you need to have an attorney represent you, because the idea is that the business, the entity, is its own entity. It's independent. It's its own person under the eyes of the law. I'm sure you guys have covered that plenty of times in your show, right? So it's its own individual. So the same way you can't go into court and represent, Sebastien, if you're not a licensed attorney, you can't go and represent your business, even though you're the owner of the business. And so we maximize protection in the sense that we can actually, obviously, represent you in court, represent your interests, whether it's in the courtroom or in the boardroom. So if it's in a deal, a contractual negotiation, and you need someone who understands the law, or you're trying to get out of a contract and you're trying to, find the loopholes in the contract, whatever the case is, we help you to, keep your money and make as much money as possible by being that legal support that you need. That most people, you don't know what you don't know. So if it's something that is going on and, you have that funny feeling, you're not sure if they're being treated you, if you're being treated, correctly, it's always good to reach out to an attorney, spend a few $100s, and save yourself potentially thousands in the long run if you have to go to court down the road.
Appreciate that. This is why we got you on here for Aboriginal Wall Street for these kind of questions. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, don't charge me with a bill later on. Now, don't be sending me no bill after the show.
What you mean? I already sent it. What are you talking about, man? It's in your inbox.
You know what I'm saying? No, for real though. So, hey, in the situation too of business, you have actually, like you said, not outside of you setting up the firm, you actually have a program, like you said, and I want you to tell people about that too, which interested me when I met you, and like how you said what your mission statement is as a firm, but at the same time, you doing certain things. So you have a program set up. Do you mind explaining that?
That's a great question. So we actually have a very special program we just rolled out a couple weeks ago called CPG Launch Blueprint, and CPG stands for Consumer Packaged Goods. And so, we've all been to that, cookout or barbecue or whatever at somebody's house where somebody makes this bomb drink or these amazing, food items or whatever the case might be. And, everyone loves it. Everyone's like, they need to sell this at Publix. What are you doing? Go make your money. But the person doesn't have the first idea in terms of how to get their product out there and mass produce it. So we created this course where we help to train an individual to manage that type of business. But then we also have a done-for-you service where we will take the reins from idea to in your hands and help people to actually launch those products. And so it's something that we've helped individuals do in the past. I've actually done my own product too, as well. I had a potato chip called Culture Chips. Your wife is very aware of it. And so it was something that we were like, people in our community, they may not know the steps and how to do this, but it's something that, we need to do and really emphasize as a community to transition from being consumers of everything to start being producers. I don't think any potato chip brand would out there, because I did potato chips specifically, I don't think any potato chip brand would make nearly as much money as they're making without having Black people as consumers, right? And so there's no reason why we can't also put our own products, and we're buying it anyway. So let's dominate every industry we can. We spend, what is it, like $6 trillion a year as a community, which if it was its own nation would be the sixth largest nation or highest, spending country in the world. And so we have a lot of our buying power wasted on, supporting other communities. But we need to start focusing on ourselves as well.
Right. That's why I'm glad you said that, because I literally brought up Ethno Aggregate because of the fact that you said, going with, for instance, how they call us Black, right? And everybody can go into details.
Yeah. I mean, just
no pressure. Yeah, get it. Keep it simple, right? We understand what we're saying, and at the same time, like you said, within that community, our consumerism And as you said, we need to become more producers. So in that same, I come ask a question of us getting back into the production and controlling the industries that we actually spend the most money in. What is the steps that you would give us live that you don't mind on the
Of
first
course,
things for people to
to
do?
launch your own product.
Yes.
So yeah, obviously, the first things first is to kind of, first thing you have to do is figure out what you're trying to sell, right? So I always tell people, it's not enough to just have a product. You want to have what they call product market fit, right? So just like when you're buying real estate, you make your money when you buy the property, right? So if you buy it at the right price, you can always, kind of calculate how much you can potentially sell it for. And so you always want to buy as low as possible in the real estate game. When it comes to consumer packaged goods, you want to be able to come up with a product that is better than its competitors in 3 areas or more, right? So it's either going to be that it tastes better, it looks better, it's packaged better, it's cheaper, it's larger, whatever the case is. You want to have 3 qualities, because most people, for one variation, if you just happen to be a different flavor, that's not enough to make me stop buying what I've already been buying. But if you're better in about 3 areas, then you have a relatively good product, right? But then you also want to have your market in mind, because when you're doing your packaging, you're not trying to cast your net to the whole world. That never works, right? So you want to create what they call a blue ocean. So if I look at a body of water and I see the color is red, that means there's a lot of fish eating fish, right? And so that's a very highly competitive area. But if I can figure out how to niche down where I am basically the only person selling in this market, because I'm the only one who understands this market, then I create what's called a blue ocean. And so if you have a product that has 3 qualities that are, an advantage over some other competitor of yours, and you have a blue ocean, your chances of relative success are really high, right? And so that's first and foremost. But then when you get there, you have your product, you have your market, you have your packaging that kind of speaks to your market. Because of course, when it comes to marketing, you bait the hook to suit the fish, right? So you don't just go and put on whatever you think looks good. You got to put on what looks good to your market so that they can buy it, because they will judge it by its cover, whether we teach them to or not, right? And so that's important. So once you do that, you work with someone called a contract manufacturer, right? You got to know what questions to ask. Obviously the contractual part is very important, because these guys, what they do is you give them your formula, you give them, whether it's a drink, a food product, a beauty product, a health food product, whatever the case might be, even a clothing product, whatever it is that you intend to mass produce, you want to be able to provide them with the specs of that product in a way where they can mass produce it at scale, right, upon demand. And so what they do is they, more than likely they're not going to sign an NDA, because if they were in the business of ripping people off, they wouldn't last very long. But if they do, that's a benefit. Obviously, they try not to, because they get so many different ideas from people, and you never know if 2 people have the same idea. So they probably won't sign one. But the point is that you get with one of them, they get your specs, and they can mass produce on demand. And so that allows the person to go from, mixing their little candles in their kitchen or their food, whatever they're making in their kitchen, to not focusing on just sales, right? So you can have the online channels, you can have the offline channels. Online would include things like Shopify, Walmart.com, Amazon.com, anywhere products are sold online, right? And then, they have Black Wall Street, .com, I think, and some other, of those ethno aggregating, websites. And then, from there, you also have offline distribution, which would include grocery stores, retail stores of any kind, right? Depending on what you're selling. And so once you're able to now focus on distribution, now instead of spending 12 hours in the kitchen making your product, you flip a switch, call your contract manufacturer. They can make whatever amount of products you need in ridiculous amount of time, thousands of units per hour, depending on the product. And then now you just focus on getting those deals. If you can get national distribution, obviously that's when you get those, 6-7 figure purchase orders, and your life has changed. You can also, especially if you are a registered, I hate the word, minority-owned business, you can get contracts with the federal government, the state government, the county, and the city to provide these products to the jails, to the army bases, to the to wherever, any type of government-owned entity can purchase those products from you, and they're actually incentivized and required by law in order to do so. And so you step in, say you have more than one, you happen to be a female and you're Black, or you're a veteran, or you're, some other, quality that they have these programs for. You actually have more and more and an advantage to get those contracts out. And so, any one of those deals can be a life changer for the average business. And the reality is a lot of that money goes back into the pot every year because not enough of us are applying and providing the type of products that they're looking for. And so they end up going right back to the good old boy network, and the money stays in the family.
I appreciate you breaking that down. I think, with that being said, I mean, Sab, since you are here, after you heard anything, do you have a question for him about anything too? You here? I ain't gonna be rude.
Yeah.
What you think about what he's saying?
Thanks for asking, Antoine. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
Thanks for your sharing your knowledge. So you and your firm, you're gonna be able to help your client as you described with all that, but everything in between. So patents, trademarks.
Oh yeah.
All these things. How about trusts?
No, so we don't do trust, right? Trust, I feel, is one of those. It's not part of the standard package, right? Obviously, if you're going to mass produce a product, you're going to be on shelves in multiple states. You want a federal trademark, so we include that. We do contracts, we do copyrights, we do the marketing, we do the graphics, we do even the accounting. We have some partners who help, and they provide what they call fractional CFO services. So now, instead of having to partner with someone who's a finance guy, you have someone included in the package who helps to set the prices and make sure you have a proper margin for your industry. They help you to plan for the future and set aside money and budget and do all those great things. And so we pretty much help to launch. Right now, trust is probably something when you're thinking about passing the baton to your family member, and you're thinking like of what type of succession plan you want to have. That's when you would think about things like trust. So because it's a little bit more specialized, we don't include that in the package. But, as always, if someone has a specific request, we can always forward it to, a friend of ours, a colleague who happens to specialize in that.
Appreciate your answer to that. You have another question before I ask him anything?
Question.
No more questions. Just want to definitely exchange information. Love to follow up with you myself afterwards. And
sounds good, man. What are you selling, man? What you got cooking over there?
There's a lot, man. I gotta.
Yeah. Hey, it's live. You can't share it here, right? Okay, I got.
He's here to share it. Actually, he's here to share it. I just wanted to make sure I get before he goes in. He got something he's coming to share too. And I think on Aboriginal Wall Street is why we do this. Because you do what you do, and I think connection what he does. That's why I think y'all have a reason to talk outside of this conversation. You know what I mean? Because of what both of y'all do, servicing people financially, in businesses, etc. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all both kind of go hand in hand on Aboriginal Wall Street.
And as you can see, actually, this logo, I'm mad I didn't get the cord in time, man. I lost the cord, so I had to order a replacement. But this logo stands for the Liberated Haitian, right? Which is my Instagram and Facebook handle. And basically, what that is a service where I just figured I'm gonna start providing this information, for free, man. As much of it as possible, teach people. If they need my help, they'll hire me. But I want my people to come up, man. I don't want to keep it to myself anymore, right? So, the Liberated Haitians about liberating people socially, spiritually, and financially, right? And so, specifically as it relates to this thing, like Black Wall Street, Aboriginal Wall Street. I love the name. It was when I learned about a community, because there was more than one, as we all know. I'm sure you guys know this, right? So we all know about what the one over there that was burned down, Oklahoma, but there was one in North Carolina that was actually spelled Haiti, Hayti, and it was where their whole commercial district was for the blacks over there, and it was a thriving area. Same thing. You had insurance companies and doctors and lawyers, all types of professionals, and amenities and everything. It was flourishing. It was one of the most well-to-do neighborhoods in the state, right? But then through the I think Eisenhower administration, and you can check me on this, they decided to run I-95 right through the middle of it, did their whole eminent domain thing, and shut the whole place down. And so Haiti itself as a symbol has inspired a lot of the independence movement in America and throughout the world, throughout Latin America. A lot of countries got their liberation and their revolutions, ignited from the Haitian revolution, and they got support from troops and planning and supplies and a lot of things too. So I think in terms of everything that I bring together, the liberated Haitian fully encapsulates my passions and my gifts and what I'm able to provide to the community.
I got something interesting for both of y'all because the fact, and shout out to my Zoes. Shout out to all my Zoes out there. Y'all know what it is. I'm married to a Zoe. So, I got to show love to all my Zoes out there. Mary P, you already know what it is. Stop out say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm gonna send my man Godagram, I'm sending you something right now. I want to show everybody this. Because we talk about this sometimes. We have to pull this up. And this is since you brought up the fact that it's called, Carolina, and they got like you said, an Aboriginal Wall Street type of vibe going on. There's plenty of them, like you said, that about. I wish I had the picture right now. I would show it. Like it's a whole bunch of cities in the southeast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, another term for these places will also be called maroon societies or communities too. You know what I mean? In Haiti,
Haiti has
another term.
Yeah.
Maroons, right? So any place that you,
to this day,
exactly.
If you're one of those guys who you don't submit to authority, you have that independent streak, they call you in Creole a neg mawon, right?
That's
Which
right.
is maroon. Because those guys, they were dropped off on the island. They tried to sell them. They escaped same day, went up to the mountains, created their own communities, for living free, and so they were very instrumental also in the revolution, because these guys were warriors in their home countries and weren't submitting to anybody. So they got through the Middle Passage and then came there, and they just passed that mindset down to their generations, to their descendants.
Yeah, and it's all throughout the Americas. That same mentality to this day. I feel like I'm that kind of person. I'm a maroon in my heart, like literally, not only in lineage, but Yacht Seminole. But you know what I'm saying? I want to show something real quick. You pull this up real quick. Check this out. So, Haiti, right? This army right here, it's called Army Indigene.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Army Indigene is going to come down. It says the Indigenous Army, also known as the Army of Saint Domingue, or Lame Indigene. I might be pronouncing that wrong, right? In Haitian Creole.
Yeah, it's the first one. Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
All right. So then this is the name bestowed to a coalition of anti-slavery men, Maroons, and women who fought in the Haitian Revolution in Saint Domingue. And this is now Haiti, encompassing both black slaves, Maroons, and Frenchies. I've been telling people about this word, a Frenchie. This is the French term for freedmen.
Yeah,
a Frenchie, right? So now, encompassing both black slaves, Maroons, the Frenchies, and it says black and mulattoes, freedmen alike. It says the rebels were not officially titled the Army Indigene until January 1803. And it comes down a little bit, shows you some people that significantly are of, Haiti's revolution. You know what I mean? Toussaint, Dudley Bookman, and Macadal, you know what I'm saying? Jean, Jacques, the Salas, all them revolutionary people that you talk about. What get interesting is it's going to come down a little bit. I got a little feedback. Can y'all hear? Y'all good? Is it me? You hear a little feedback? I think it's you, Antoine, with your mic. You don't got to speak headphones. Can you mute your mic? Yeah.
Okay.
Can you mute your mic real quick? There we go. I think there it is. Is it better for everybody? Yeah. So all right. So when you're not talking, just mute your mic so it won't get no feedback, please. All right. In the same time, what I'm reading here though, and it says though, funny enough, it comes right after. It says, I'm gonna start right here. French philosophy and slave-based economy, and the galvanized in our Frenchy, Bosal, and Creoles around one common goal: the independence of Haiti. The president to the term indigene was the Salas, first army known as Army des Incas, referring to the Inca Empire in South America. Finally, the term happened in January 1st, 1804, when the silence restored the native name of the island of Saint Domingue to Haiti. And later, in a speech she declared by chasing the French troops when, was it troops, he then avenges the Americas. He then avenges the Americas. So what they weren't just even thinking about just the island when they were doing it. They were thinking about freeing other people that were indigenous to the Americas. You know what I'm saying, at this time. And you can come down a little bit. Go to the etymology real quick. Are we in the etymology? I'm tripping. All right, there it is. That's the etymology. I'm tripping. All right, so yeah, right there in the etymology of the word, indigenous army, it has this right here to break down that you got to mention the Inca Empire. Now, everybody knows the Independence War. You tell me, y'all can both tell me, based off your understanding of that continent. In 1804, the folks who are fighting in the revolution to free themselves from France, there's a lot of people that we would call today Negroes, right? That were involved in that, right? It seems that they would want to say that these people were Africans, but look what the term they're using. They feel like they're indigenous to America, obviously. And the root of the indigenous situation is tied to an empire. They say Incas, disappeared out of somewhere. You know what I mean? When they say the Spanish came. But in 1804, they're still using this. And this is your own people who fought in the wars, describing the people who look like us fighting and said it's an Inca empire. The Incas, Arme des Incas. So this is something that, I want to just point out because you brought up that. What you think about that? And, which I think before we move on. This is just something that caught me.
Man, I learn something every day. That's amazing, and that's not a surprise because you do see pyramids over in the area where the Incan Empire was, headquartered in Mexico and those areas. And I always knew that Africans, were in Florida and the Caribbean before even Christopher Columbus came over here, right? So obviously with you're Seminolian, so you know that history as well. And so, it's very interesting that, obviously I can understand why they would call themselves indigenous because they predate the arrival of the European, of the white man. But to say that they were Incan, I never heard that before. The army of the Incas, that's crazy because now they're saying that there's an association between Africa and the Incan Empire. And I never heard that before. That's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna look into that.
I want you to. I wanted to just throw that out there. Sad, but what you think about it real quick, and we can move on.
That's
get back to the bill.
That's the beginning. Just opening the door. You gotta just keep going in that research and looking and verifying that you're gonna find it.
Definitely. I think Sab, Demetrius, Avalanche, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I gotta bring him back on Aboriginal Wall Street because he do patents, and because of we got a business lawyer and what you do with that, I'm trying to help people put their businesses and get their products out and getting everything right, get their finances right, you know what I'm saying, and then be able to build, like you said, Aboriginal Wall Street for real. The more entrepreneurs that are producing and being able to become more autonomous by setting up these entities in this day and time that can take care of their families. And at that point, as you asked the question about setting up their estates and their trust and having the insurance policies in place, these are all a part of the ethno aggregation process in my mind, of us in modern day time. Dumas is, I said Dumas. Antoine, is there anything you want to say before we let Sab bring in his program? And I'm also going to let Money Corner jump in.
No, do your thing. I would just say, to anybody who's watching this, and thinking about hiring a lawyer, a lot of times, yes, you can do these things on yourself. There's nothing out here that is non-discoverable by the person who wants to find information. As you can see, I bet you there's a lot of historians out here who have never heard of the association between Africans and the Incas, right? But, Mac, I don't know if you have a PhD in history, but this brother is very well read and he's able to point things out. So there's no rule or, reason why you should assume that you're not able to do a lot of these things on your own. However, because we have gone to school and we make it our business to know certain things, then yes, we are aware of certain principles of law that you may not be aware of. But I would say, when it comes down to these things, just to be safe, even me, the first time that I do any type of, area, like if I were doing trust, I don't do trust right now, but the first time if someone hired me to do a trust, I would ask someone who I know does trust really well, do it with them, study under them, and then start doing it for other people. And so, in the same way, when it comes to hiring an attorney, these contracts you download off of Google, when you don't know what you don't know, and you've never read a book on contracts and contract defenses and contract clauses and all those things, you have no idea what doors you're leaving open for somebody like me to come in and tear that thing apart. And so for the first time you do something, yes, I think you want to hire an attorney, especially when it comes to business. But after that, hopefully if the attorney is really a member of your team and is really trying to serve you, because that's what Esquire means. It means to be a servant. Then they should be training you so that you can do these things yourself, or at least know what you want. Because at the end of the day, you cannot inspect what you don't expect, right? You have to know what you're expecting. You have to have an idea of what you're looking for, and then you can look for it. And so that's what we help people do. We help people to be able to become self-sustaining entrepreneurs. And, if you need something done just for the sake of time, or because, as a matter of convenience, then you can hire someone, but you don't need someone. I don't want my clients to ever walk around talking about they need an attorney. Unless the law specifically says that they do, I'd rather have people who understand the game, understand how it's played, and can go out there and be self-sustaining with or without me. Because if you're not independent, you're not free. So that's really important to me at the end of the day. So as an attorney, that's my focus. Hopefully, if you have a need for me, you can find my information on www.talented10thlaw or on all the social channels at The Liberated Haitian.
Matter of fact, we can we show your website tonight before you leave us?
Yeah.
We're definitely going to pull it up. We want people to see it. You said Talented 10. Say it again real quick. So
Talented10law.com.
All right, bet. Talented10law.com. I want to give that a shout out. You know what I mean? Make sure everybody catches that. Talented10law.com.
Yeah, 10, TENTH.
With the 10th, with the TH on it.
I know you're from Florida, man. I know you don't pronounce the TH, man, but
you know how we say things. You know how how I am. So you know how we talk. I ain't gonna front. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be who I is. I just said that I'm gonna be who I is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Hey, I speak all the languages, man. No problem. I understand.
Yeah, catch on. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it really the Fisher rods. Yeah. I'm gonna pull up Money Corner real quick, and we also gonna show you a website too at the same time too. But I just want to give a shout out. Money Corner's in the building.
That's the man right there. Listen up,
Master
people. Pay attention. When this man speaks, pay attention.
What's up, Master Ethan? I just want to give you a shout out. I didn't want you in the back. You might as well join the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How's everybody?
We're doing pretty good, man. We hanging in there. We're on the street. We're on Wall Street right now. We have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to pull you up real quick before I let Sab. Because Sab, you said, because I know before we go into the Money Corner conversation, and I know that's when all of us will engage in what I know Master Ethan might have updates for us on Aboriginal Wall Street conversation tonight. So real quick, you can put Sab on the big screen. And Sab, you said there's something going on dealing with what you got going on as the approved guy. Well, what's popping with you? It's on you.
Yeah, thank you. So if I could share my screen, I'm going to show some information. I'll just do a quick overview of the approved guy for those of you who don't know. And then there's two things that are just important for business owners that are have been around for at least 2 or 3 years. If you're not aware of that, I want to highlight and make sure everybody has access to it. So let me just share my screen. And then
I'll make it sure. I'm gonna say I ain't see you share. We looking over here. I'm looking forward. I don't see it there yet. Cause we almost there.
Sorry about that.
No pressure. All right, we got it. No, you got it.
All right, cool. Yep, so this is me, the approved guy. I have a YouTube channel, which is The Approved Guy. You can find me on all social media at The Approved Guy. And on my channel, I discuss number one, which is my passion and my purpose, is helping other people to identify what their purpose is, and first to understand what is purpose, and what it means to live on purpose. And so that's the first topic that I cover. And then from there, I teach a financial stewardship model called velocity banking, and then infinite banking, personal credit, business funding, estate planning, asset protection, and succession planning. I am not an attorney, but I have partnered up with attorneys, which is why I want to talk to you, Antoine, to be able to refer clients over to you for some of the services and things that I talk about on the channel. So that's who I am. That's the approved guy. Without diving into each of those products or services tonight, I specifically wanted to talk to you guys about the employee retention credit, which is a credit that is still available to all business owners who basically, if you were in business in 2021 and 2022, this is a credit that you're going to get back. This is not a loan or a debt. If you had 3 or more employees, W-2 employees as a business owner, and you have not cashed in on this, you can get up to $26,000 per employee. From that employees that were retained from 2020 and 2021. Eligible business owners can get access to that money within days. I've partnered up with a bank and a CPA firm that provides this service, or I should say a lender and a CPA firm that provides this service. And so even if you've already filed and you're waiting for it, this firm, because they've partnered up with a lender, they can actually give you an advance on it. So if you've been waiting for months to get your ERC credit, you can get it fast through the advance. Minimum qualifying requirements is that you have to have, again, 3 employees for 2021 and 2022. FICO of 500. Business has to currently be active and in good standing with the Secretary of State, less than $200,000 in credits in any single quarter. The statute of limitations to file an amended payroll return is 3 years from the date that the returns were filed. These are all quarterly returns. So basically there's a refund that you can get per quarter. And so the first ones that could have been filed to claim the ERC were July 31st, 2020. The ability to claim that first quarter of the ERC disappeared after July 31st, 2023. And so the last one is going to be October 31st, 2024. The window to qualify for the last quarter of 2021 is going to expire. So there's still time now, but every quarter that passes, you're missing out if you haven't filed yet. And so again, this is not a loan. This is not something you have to pay back to a bank or lender. This is a tax credit if you had 3 or more employees for 2020 and 2021, and you could take advantage of that. So I partnered up with the lender and CPA, 2 different institutions, but it's under the banner. The company's called Nuity, and I'm going to provide the link to that. So you can just go to theapprovedguy.com/employee retention credit. And if you are going to apply for it, make sure you put referred by the autonomous party on that. I'll just drop that right here. Boom. Put that in the chat for everybody. And make sure you drop referred by the autonomous party. Boom. All right. The next thing I was going to make sure we talked about is going to be the same lender, Nuity, has packaged a fast track SBA loan. Most banks and lenders do not want to do small SBA loans. They usually start at least $150,000. A lot of lenders don't even touch anything less than $500,000. But what they've decided to do, because there's some new regulations, there's some new standard operating procedures that have been released by the SBA, and it's freeing up what the banks can do to help business owners that need it to get access to funding. So they've created 3 tiers. The first tier is up to $25,000, which is unheard of for a lender, a bank, to give an SBA loan up to $25,000, because like I said, they don't even want to touch less than $150,000. So this lender, Nuity, is doing up to $25,000. The qualifying parameters, well, first, it could be used for working capital, debt refinance, basically all of the SBA 7A uses, which is a long list. and the interest rate on that loan is prime plus 2.75. So that's what they're charging, and it's on a 10-year loan term. Minimum requirements to get approved for up to $25,000 is going to be a FICO score of 650 and an SBSS score of 155. Your FICO score is your personal credit score, but the SBSS score is the Small Business Scoring Service, which is a business credit model that the SBA created, where they have a third party called the Small Business Financial Exchange that collects data from Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax Business Credit Division, and they report that to SBA. So now if you have, like, let's say an 800 personal credit score, most likely if you have no business credit, your SBSS score will still be probably over 160 or 170. But if you have a lower credit score, as what they're advertising, which is a minimum of 650, then your business credit score is probably going to be less than 155, which means that you need to build a little business credit to be able to qualify. So if you don't have that, that is something, of course, I can assist with my course, Business Credit 101, and I can help you to get the business credit score so you can qualify with for this SBA loan. Again, because it's not just the personal credit, it's also the business credit. Now they have within here, with under this 25,000, they have a couple tiers here. You'll see there's a 650 or higher FICO score. They're looking for 3 years in business. 670 or higher FICO score, 2 years in business. And if you have 700 or higher, they're going to give you a loan up to 25,000. So you could be, 6 or 7 months in business. But if you have a 700 or higher credit score, I'm sorry, you'd have to be 12 months in business. But if you have a 700 or higher FICO score and the SBSS score of 155 or better, you could get up to 25,000. And this is a fast track loan. So typically SBA loans can take anywhere from 30 to 60 days. And through Newity, with this fast track product, they can deliver within 2 to 3 weeks. You can anticipate closing costs of about $750. You must be a U.S. based business owner, an active company, and basically they calculate the loan amount by looking at what is your average annual revenue, and they're going to give you 35% of that annual revenue. Now there is a caveat to that, which is called your debt service coverage ratio, because they're going to calculate your debt service coverage ratio based on your actual cash flow after all expenses to determine if you can afford the loan. So these are just general guidelines. Again, if you have 1 year in business, 700 or higher score, you can qualify along with the SBSS score of 155. 2 years in business with a 60 or higher score, 3 years in business, 650 or higher. And this is going to be up to $250,000. And again, I'm going to provide you the link, which is going to be theapprovedguy.com/SBA request. You submit your request here. Tell me what size loan you want. Make sure you put your contact info, and then make sure you put the autonomous party in the referred by field. So let me drop that link for the SBA product over here for you guys. Now, the same lender has the next level up is going to be 25,001 up to 150,000. Not exactly the same criteria, very close, but not the same. So again, if you're going to apply for up to 25,000, I dropped the link there. From 25,001 up to 150,000, a little bit stricter criteria, not much stricter. 670 credit, so just went up 10 points. They require to get that 20, and then SBSS score of 155, but you have to have at least 3 years. So they're not going to give you, that range of 25,001 to 150 if you're less than 3 years in business. Estimated closing cost is $1,000. Same rules to figure out how much you can get approved for. You must be an active U.S. based business. And then the next level up, again, you can apply with the link, just submit, and then I connect you to Newity. And then the next level up, and this is where they stop. So this is all they do, is going to be between $150,000 and $1 up to $250,000. And for this one, they're looking for 670 or better credit. The SBSS score now, they raised that bar up to 175. And so you have to have at least 3 years in business, and you can get approved again from 150,001 up to 250,000. Estimated closing cost are 2,000. Now, this is one lender that I work with. I work with over 25 SBA banks and lenders that lend all the way up to 5 million. And I'm helping folks with loans from debt restructuring, merchant cash advances. So if you're over leveraged on merchant cash advance loans, you got a first, second, and third position. I've seen people with UCC filings stacked up to 5 and 6 positions, and it's just choking the business out. They can't make any profit because all they're doing is paying these merchant cash advance daily or weekly payments. And at the end of the day, they're paying anywhere between 50 to 100% interest, but they got duped into it because they're told that there's no interest rate. They're told that it's a factor rate and it's a daily payment. It's really gentle. You won't even feel it. You'll have that money in the bank account before the end of the day. Sign on the bottom line. Business owners who have good credit have no business taking that loan. The only reason you take that loan is either because it's do or die. You have no other option. You're about to file bankruptcy, and this is literally just your last option. But this is it's literally highway robbery. What they're doing, it's legal. It's legal what they do because they don't call it an interest rate, because they call it a factor rate. That's what
money.
Yeah. But again, you get those UCC funds. Anyways, I did recently about a $300,000 refi. I did a $2.5 million refi. So took them out of 5 merchant cash advances that they were paying, daily and weekly payments, into a 10-year, SBA term, prime, plus 2.75%. And the last thing I want to say about SBA, because obviously you guys know I could talk about lots of different loan products. But one thing I do want to say about SBA is that the 7A loan is up to 10 years. However, if you want to use that loan to buy commercial property, you can use that loan and they'll stretch that entire loan out up to 25 years. So if you're a business owner and you are paying, let me take it off. Yeah, if you're a business owner, hear me, and you're paying a monthly a lease payment to a landlord, for your office space or your warehouse space, and you need to get some working capital, you need to refinance bad debt, or you want to improve the facility, refurnish it, you want to build out, the SBA 7A loan, you can, instead of continuing to pay that lease monthly payment, you can buy a commercial property with that loan. And then they're going to also lump in the other use of funds into that commercial property loan and stretch the entire loan out for 25 years. The only requirement, the rule is you have to use at least 51% of that property for your own business use. So they're not giving these SBA loans for real estate investors who want to fix and flip or do long-term rentals on commercial property, because you are required to use that facility and occupy 51% of it for your own personal business use. But the other 49% of it could be leased out to tenants. So if you could set it up properly, technically you can put yourself in a position where you can get a 25-year term on an SBA loan with all the other use of funds that you need for your business. Stop paying that lease payment, get 1 or 2 or 3 tenants to pay to pay rent for their space, and that could potentially cover your monthly payment and pay for your entire loan. So if it's done properly, an SBA 7A loan is a great product, especially when you attach commercial real estate to it, based on what I'm saying. So anyone out there with businesses, if you're a startup, I have banks that will do startup SBA loans. They love business acquisition. But they're not financing sinking ships. they're looking, you got to think of it, of the SBA bank like a shark. I'm sure everybody's seen that show Shark Tank. It's not like applying for a mortgage where you show your financials, and then they say, okay, you're qualified for X amount, and now you go shopping. It doesn't work that way. You got to tell the bank, this is what I want to do. This is, you have a breakdown of use of funds. This is the total loan amount. Here's my financials. And then they run the numbers. They look at the debt service coverage ratio, look at your assets, your income, and then they figure out whether or not you can afford that loan. And if they feel that it's a good investment for themselves as a bank to invest. So it's really like your business plan is your pitch deck, and you have to have projections, and you have to have assumptions that explain those projections. I've seen a lot of people, show me projections, but they can't explain how they came to those projections. They're just numbers floating in the air, and that the bank's like, okay, well, if you don't know your numbers, how can we feel confident to lend you money? Right. How did you come to that conclusion, right? So now with the lender that I just showed you guys with this fast track loan, from 0 to 25,000, from 25,001 to 150, and then from 150,001 to 250. This is a fast track product that I just showed you guys. It's a little bit different. So they're just really looking at, do you have cash flow? Can you afford it? You're not going to have to go through all the hoops that you would have to go through on a regular SBA loan because of the way that they're fast tracking it with Nuity's technology. They're literally a fintech company. And with the new SOPs from SBA, it's a great opportunity for business owners that need financing. So that and the ERC, employee retention credit, if you haven't already done so, make sure you take advantage of these opportunities. And again, I dropped those links in the description. So if you want to get the ball rolling, you can get started, or you can schedule a call with me if you want to talk about any other financing or building your business credit or any of the other topics on my channel.
That's what I'm talking about. See, this is Aboriginal Wall Street. He back to fall. Appreciate you, Sal, the approved guy in the building. See, we started off with the Esquire, Antoine. Then we go into you. I knew you had some you want to drop on us tonight. And we going into that corner now. We about to walk into the corner. Antoine, you there? Because we want to show you a website real quick, just before we let Money Corner go all the way in. You know what I'm saying? On the corner level of this conversation.
Yeah, that's a lot of value the brother just shared, man. I booked a session tomorrow, man. So I'm with it, man. I need that too, man. I love what you're doing, boss.
Thank you, brother. Bless up.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what Aboriginal Wall Street is about. We networking. You know what I mean? We're going to aggregate amongst each other. And we're going to pull each other up. Because we're going to have to do with autonomy amongst each other with our networks and our services and our businesses.
I gained a few pounds since I took this picture, man. I might need to update it, man.
Hey, look at you. It's all good. Hey, listen, man, I ain't gonna talk no shit. I messed up and trimmed my beard too low, and I realized my face looked a little chubby too. Lord, I was covered with hair to show my face was as chubby as it getting, and I was like, damn, man, your face getting kind of, you done. You feel me? I look a little bit. You see my face? You see it? I'm getting chubby, ain't it? The hell was covering it though. You feel
Good
me?
living, man.
It made me look like I was slimmer.
That's right.
I gotta go back.
That's that Haitian food he's eating every day, man.
That griot.
There you go.
No, real talk though. No, I be eating too much fried chicken and a whole bunch of other stuff. I ain't gonna get into it. My diet ain't on point. But yeah, Maranatha, my Lord has come. I'm gonna enjoy it while I'm here. But either way, give me anything you want to say about your website real quick before we go into the Money Corner part of this conversation.
Everything you need is there, man. It's pretty straightforward. TalentedtenthLord.com. If you want to book a session, an appointment, a consultation, everything is there, man. Explains what I do, who I am. Anything you need to know, just hit us up.
That's why I want to make sure everybody know we don't be faking no jacks here. We do sources. So everybody we bring on here, we don't go give us information and you can really plug into them. We ain't on no scamming stuff. We gonna refer people. People refer back to us, and that's what the party's about. That's what the party's about. You know what I mean? Autonomously, we plug in because there's a lot of things we talk about, but this is the part that's gonna allow us to aggregate. You know what I mean? Aboriginal Wall Street. That's why we have these conversations like this.
You've been using that word a lot, man. That's a good word, man. I like it. I like that.
Yeah, that's my term for Aboriginal Wall Street. I'm here to aggregate. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to aggregate. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna learn. I'm not gonna act like I know everything. There's a lot of things I don't know. And at the same time, that's why I'm going to people like the approved guy when I need to get financing for my business and learn how to go about building my business as an entrepreneur. And then I also need a business lawyer that's going to help me do the trademarks or teach me how to go about doing that so I can go ahead and protect my things and certain things of my business. And then obviously I need somebody like Money Corner who's going to show me what to invest my money in and be successful, so I can sit back and on a beach somewhere.
Man, Money Corner is no joke either, man. This brother is 100% value, man. No mixer, no chaser, whatever they say, man. That's 100% right there. That's my brother. But I gotta run, fellas. It's been real. Master Ether, we'll talk, man.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
You got it, fellas. Seb, take care. Appreciate
Peace,
you, man. All right.
Appreciate you too, man. I'll see you soon next
You
time.
got it, boss. All
For
right.
sure. All right, man. So, Money Corner, man, how you doing, man? It's on you. Appreciate your patience. I had to, plug him in. I met him through you. See what I'm saying? I told the man I'm gonna keep my word, so I keep my word. You know what I mean? You introduced me to him. I told him, like, I'm gonna plug you in. I'm gonna keep my word. I'll be slowed up. Even with you. My bad. I say it live, y'all. I've been trying to get with this man, and it's on me though. It's on me though. Either way though. Go ahead, man. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How's everybody?
Everybody good over here. It's Aboriginal Wall Street. It's been a minute. The last joint you did, it went viral though. You know what I'm saying? You had like over 2,000 views on that joint. You know what I'm saying? People like actually with the promote and we did, branding the Aboriginal Wall Street vibe. Your last joint is popping, and you gave a lot of good information. I know I've been to, as you've been, what you showed last time you was here. I've been to it before you showed it there. You know what I'm saying? So I know what your intentions is by being able to bring people together to show them certain things that you've been able to do and how to aggregate. You know what I'm saying? So to speak.
Right.
So that's why, again, with you, Money Corner, I expect you to always come with the heat, and what's popping and keeping it real about the things, the good, the bad, the ugly. You gonna give it to us raw, and Master Ether, it's on you.
Yeah, man. I mean, not much has changed, man. I mean, a lot of things been going on in the world. So, I'm always coming from the macro down to the micro. So the macroeconomics scene right now is that we're still in an inflationary period. So because we have inflation, it's causing a lot of Americans to be in despair. It's causing a lot. I mean, 72% of Americans right now in a recent poll were saying that they're still uneasy about their financial picture. And it makes sense because I'm starting to see a lot of different sectors where we're starting to bleed a little bit. We've been bleeding because of COVID to now. We're trying to stabilize ourselves. So the economy's trying to stabilize. Been pumping a lot of money out, and it's creating this crazy deficit, and which is creating an inflation. We print money, creates more inflation. We get more money in circulation. That means the money inflates, and then we have an issue, and we got to bring it down. So then we got to kind of tax everything. That's why everything's being taxed. Taxed to a fault. Like if you listen to Jerome Powell, who delivers that message on what we're going to do, if the rates are going to get raised or not, he'll tell you, say, hey, look, we're going to go through some hardship. We got to see some layoffs. We got to see some hard times in order for inflation to come down. And that's actually what they're doing. So mortgage rates are coming down a bit, but you're still looking at with credit card rates at about 20% on the average, and you're looking at 7% on a mortgage rate right now. Most people have been priced out of the market. You're not buying a house. You could just hang that up for a little while. If you thought you were going to buy a house, you got to hold on for a minute because it just doesn't look pretty. The prices of houses haven't really come down as much, and then the rates are actually going to grow. We may not get a rate hike this time, but we're definitely going to get a rate hike between now and November. So that means that we're probably going to get another 25 basis points, and that means that the rates are going to go high. Everything around the board, even when you go to buy a car, anytime you go to borrow money, the rates are going to be higher, and that's putting Americans in a crunch. Right now, believe it or not, all income brackets are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to repeat it again. All income brackets are living paycheck to paycheck. 61% of adults are living from paycheck to paycheck. All right. In other words, they're relying upon their regular checks to meet essential expenses, living expenses, with little to no money left over at the end of the month. So now what we're doing is that, and then you heard me say this before, we're doing like in the 1980s when credit cards were really popular and when they were issued out to everyone, we're using credit as a crutch. And that's just not with credit being 20%, it's no wonder that a lot of people are underwater because you're at 20% interest, you can't pay it off, and you're actually financing your debt. And now think about it. If you're paying 20% on your money, 20% of your money that you're making, that you're paying in payments are going towards interest, you lost almost a quarter of your money just in interest rates because you're financing your debt and you can't live. Now that's 61% of Americans. Now you think about it. I'm gonna break down the bracket. So now if you're earning less than $50,000 a year, that increased from 2022. We had 74% of people in 2022 were living from paycheck to paycheck. Now we have 78% in 2023 as of July. So that's a 4% increase, and it's going to increase every year as long as we're in this inflationary period. Now that's for people who are earning less than $50,000 a year. That's a large chunk of people in America, especially on we're not talking about median income where you're looking at the man and the woman or the two people bringing in money. You're talking about one person. Now, if you look at the people who are earning between 50 to 100K, 65% of them are living from paycheck to paycheck. That's up from 2022, where it was only 63%. You're looking at 65. The point of it is that we're actually increasing the debt. You're not going to find people that are going to be in a great financial situation. Recently, what I've been noticing lately, just with friends and family, we're seeing more friends and family that are actually coming to borrow money. And you want to know why they actually borrow money? Because they've already tapped out their credit cards and they've already tapped out payday loans. I started doing some research on payday loans recently, and it blew my mind, man. I had no idea that the average person takes out 8 payday loans a year. And do you know the interest on payday loans? Payday loans are 400%. So they charging you $15 to $30 for every $100 that you take out. It's one hell of a business to be in, man. That's the business to be in right now. And so what you got people who can't finance it on their credit card side, they go to payday loans, and then they stress out payday loan. Payday loan fees as of last year were $9 billion. There were $9 billion in payday loan fees. So that means people not paying it on time. They're getting hit with the fee, and then it's also affecting their bank account. So then they can't pay. The person says, oh, well, you gave me an IOU on this day. I'm going to take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. The bank say, man, there's no money in here. Then you get an overdraft fee. Now you're paying bank fees, and then you owe the check cashing store fees. It's putting Americans in a really bad situation. And mainly most of it is because of financial literacy. It's not necessarily because they're not making enough money. If you're making over $50,000 as an individual, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to live. If you're making $50,000 a piece and you're bringing in $100,000 together, there's no way that you shouldn't be able to live comfortably in this society. Now, what's interesting is that those that were earning $100,000 annually were living a paycheck to paycheck too, but their percentage increased the least because they didn't increase like all the other groups. But what you're having is that people that are living beyond their means. That is the majority of us. I think the social media has kind of put us in that mindset where, you know, you're looking at people that are really broke. You know their real situation, but they flossing on Facebook or on Instagram. They got the Gucci belt. They go in here, they go in there, they go on vacations, they go on all these different places, but their condition hasn't changed. You've always heard me say, look at yourself over the last 10 years. What have you done over the last 10 years? If you haven't moved one iota, then there's a problem. Either you're inherently flawed, fundamentally flawed, or you just don't give a damn. One of those things has to be the key, because there's money out here to get it, and you're not doing the right thing. A lot of our money is actually going to non-essential things that are not essential. I've been learning, because I've been sitting down with people on an individual level recently in the last couple of months, trying to help a lot of people. And it's blowing my mind that people just haven't gotten an education. You know, I could go on YouTube, and I know Seb can agree with me. I can go on YouTube University, and I can go and learn anything I want to learn. I also have a membership on Coursera and Udemy. I pay for those things, and I take courses all the time. And I'm always increasing my knowledge. It's not about financial literacy, but just increasing my knowledge. Like he was talking about estate planning. I took some courses on estate planning. I want to learn more about gerontology, getting older, retirement planning, living. I'm learning that. I'm taking courses. Most people just not, and that's what separates the people from being very rich in the rich mindset and the poor mindset. They're actually not learning anything. You can ask. I'm telling you, I've been asking people, and I kind of set the trap door. I don't let you know where I'm going, and I just ask you a couple of questions, and I see that you're not even interested in learning anything. I call that a broken adult syndrome, BAS. You're broken. It's not nobody can help you because you don't want to help yourself. And we're always in a developmental stage. I'm always ready to learn something at all times. I can learn something from my son. Somebody's always willing to teach you something, but we don't want to learn about money. We go to work all day. We put a lot of hours in. There's a lot of emphasis placed on us being able to get money to be able to handle the necessities, the food, clothing, and the shelter. But we're not learning how money works, and we want to give our money away. From my analysis of helping some of these individuals over the last couple of months, you know what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing that there's just really no discipline. We just don't have discipline. I've seen situations where I look at a 24-month snapshot. So before I start to help you out, I'm not just going to go in and just say, okay, let me see your last 3 months. That's not going to tell me anything. Let me look at the last 24 months and let me look at your spending habits and let me see really basically how you've been fucking up your money. And then I'll say, hey, you didn't need to do this. You didn't need to do that. What are we doing this for? Like, for instance, I'll see people, oh, yeah, I went on vacation and I put it on a credit card. Why did you go on vacation? Your money fucked up. You don't need to go on vacation. You don't have money. You don't have your 3 to 6 months. You already know the game already. This stuff is really, really elementary. You can pick this up from any new person on YouTube teaching you about money. This is 101 stuff. And you see adults walking around here with Gucci'd up and going all over the place, and they don't even understand 101 financial talk. This is 101 stuff. You can't show me. You say, okay, how much you make? And you know everybody lies about their salary. So if somebody tell you they're making 80, they're making 60. So my point of it is, I don't even know what you're bringing home on taxes. So if we take a realistic snapshot and you tell me, hey, man, I make $50,000 a year, but I really bring home about 43. I say, okay, you bring home 43. Okay, now let me see what you got in the bank. Because at this point, if you're making 43,000 and I'm looking at you have enough money to handle your bills, where's your money going? Then when I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, I'm looking at a bunch of you doing Uber Eats, you going to concerts, you going to buy food, you going to expensive restaurants, you got the new boots on, or you're going here, you're going there, and that starts to add up, and you don't realize it. That's why I say I look at a 24-month snapshot, and I'm seeing that the money's going all over the place. And what I'm seeing is that you had a windfall. The money came in, you got your income tax, something happened, you work some couple of hours, whatever the case may be. You got a chunk of money, or you just you hit it big for a moment. And as soon as you get that money, it goes right out. Because you know what you have? That instant gratification. Delayed gratification does not exist. We're in this culture where we're all on social media, and that rules and runs us. And we're looking to one up somebody instead of saying, hey, you know what? This right here could really put me in a great situation to really come up. You're not trying to come up. You just say, oh, man, you know what? I'm going to spend this money right now. And then you don't get it. Then when you got a real necessity, you come to somebody like me or going to payday loans or going to your credit cards to pay your necessities instead of handling your business. I just told my oldest son the other day, because he hasn't been managing his money correct, but he's a kid. I told him, I say, my father used to say, my father would pay all his bills and he'd be like, man, shit, I'm broke, but all my bills paid. And he'll get his little 6-pack of beer and get his little cigar, and he'll sit in the yard and he'll put his sausage on the grill and he'll be content because his bills are paid. Now we're totally opposite with that. We like, man, I want to floss out and look a certain kind of way, and my bills not paid. And what I do is I use my real money to go floss, and then the bills I got to go pay, I'll borrow against that. So I don't really have, like what a lot of people that I have been seeing, I don't have a lot of sympathy for that. I'm compassionate because I want to help people get themselves in a better financial situation. But I don't have a lot of compassion for that, because I look at it as that it's self-sabotage. You're doing that shit on purpose, and you don't care about it. And you just want to keep borrowing and doing whatever. And after a while, like I was just telling when the people say I just had a little something, and I was telling them, I say, we'll sit around and be like, man, I ain't got no money. Me neither. I ain't got no money. I'm so poor, man. I couldn't even afford this. And it becomes a club. That's not the club you want to be in. You want to be in the club where people winning. You keep doing that, and you're gonna be. It's the same thing. They have this what is called a rich mindset versus the poor mindset, right? And poor, you remember that poor is not broke. It's a totally different thing. When you poor, that's a mindset. You decided that you want to be poor. That's what it is. Now, when you broke, it's a whole nother thing. You're broken. That's what it is. You're broken. I can't come up with it. I'm gonna get it. I had it, but I can't come up with it because you wasn't disciplined. When you're on a poor mindset, I think I kind of switched it up. But when you're poor is more so I'm in poverty. I don't have anything extra. I'm not able to get this so I can maintain an apartment or something like that, or maintain a car. And a lot of people are really borderline on that. And when I'm talking to people, it's really blowing my mind that they haven't really grasped some of these concepts. And it's just really simple. Some of it's really simple. And we're talking about adults, man. We're talking about people who are 40 plus years old, and they just haven't been able to grasp some of these concepts. And we're not getting the education. We're not working hard. You get a windfall, you do something, first thing you know, your money's going right out the window. That's why I've seen people inherit money, get money, and those be the first people that be broke. I've seen people get properties with money and get a car and all kind of stuff and be broke. It's because their mindset is just not there. It doesn't matter your age, if you got it when you was young or old. I'm seeing people who are old right now getting it and they still broke. I have a thing that I tell a lot of people. I say, I can start from zero today, and within 5 years, my net worth will be more than yours. And you could be balling. You could be at 6 figures right now, and I'll surpass you, because it's about what's going on up here. It's not about, oh, I need to make more money. I'll be around a lot of folks that are always talking about, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. So what? So you can spend it foolishly? Not because you can save it. We're not interested in getting out of debt. We want to pile on debt. Get out of debt first. You know how many people I've spoken to in the last couple of months that have a bunch of debt and they're talking to me about what they're going to be spending money on, or they're going on vacation and they're doing all kind of silly shit. And I'm saying to myself, you coming to me because you don't want to go to payday loan, you done fucked up with them, your credit card's maxed the fuck out and you can't do anything there. So now you're coming to lean on friends and family and stuff like that. And I ran some numbers on that too. And that's on the rise. So people, you're tapping into other people. So now you're tapping into people that's probably trying to struggle, and now it's a domino effect. So we got to get out of that kind of mindset, because I think that we like it. We get real comfortable. Oh, I don't count. It's okay for me this now. I ain't got no car. Just catch the bus. Okay, well, you can't be able to do what you need to do if you don't have a car. You need a car. If you don't have a car, you're not going to be able to climb up the ladder of success, because you're not going to be able to get another job, or either do what you need to do, get to work on time. You're dependent on the transit system. Get out of that mentality, man, because I'm telling you, it is a trap, and you can get very comfortable with mediocrity. And I think a lot of people are really comfortable with just not having it. They're in this state of mind where it's like, this is what it is, and I'm fine with that. And that's not where we need to be. Inflation is not going anywhere. You've been hearing me talk about inflation for over 3 years. I've been talking about it, and I say it's going to get even worse, and it's in a really bad situation, and it's tearing people's ass up. And people who are making more money, they're not doing any better than the person who's not making that much money. And that's starting to be a real issue. It's actually a cycle. If we don't get that, and you got to think about it, people right now, they haven't been paying student loans, and then you got free money. It's a mentality that we created this kind of mentality, and now we got to break out of it. And that's why you see people not owning homes and people are renting. I'll give you a statistic right now. It is better for you to be renting than it is for you to own a home right now. It's more cost effective because of everything else. What I try to get across to people, because people have delusions of grandeur. Oh, I'm gonna buy a house. I'm getting a house next year, and I'm gonna buy this kind of house, and I'm moving all this kind of stuff. And then I say, okay, do you understand the total cost of ownership? TCO. Do you really understand the total cost of ownership? Do you think it's just about getting a down payment, which you probably don't have? But did you think it's just about getting a down payment and just giving somebody some money and say, oh, here go my key, I'm moving in? No, it's a total cost of ownership. Right now, and you just had a hurricane in Dahlia, just wipe these people back out over here, over on the West Coast. Most of those people didn't even have insurance. You got tax insurance. Insurance done double up. You can't afford that. I told you before I paid off the house, my insurance doubled, almost went up 2.5 than for what I was paying before. You can't afford that. So you may get in the house, I got in the house, I'm good to go. But most people are not going to get in the house. And not because I don't want them to, and I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just trying to give you the reality. It's too high. The rates are too high right now. Right now, median average for rent is somewhere around $2,000. For a house, it's $2,000, but you're looking at about $2,700 versus that $2,000. You've had a little bit of rent control after the COVID fiasco, and now that's allowing people to be a little bit more comfortable with where they're staying at, because the rent is not going to go crazy. But I'm telling you, over the next couple of years, these owners, they're going to have to somehow push that the money that they're paying extra, it's going to have to go into your monthly bill. So you're going to see rent start to skyrocket, and then you're not going to afford rent. You're not going to be able to afford your rent and get into a house. And you know that getting in a house, you're going to save more money, and you can start to build some type of wealth, especially if you're going to pay off the house. Like I told you with the little plan I was showing you in the Finland, you'll be able to pay off your house. It puts you in a good situation. But that's the quickest way, and that's always been a way to accumulate wealth. Don't let nobody fool you. Oh, don't get a house because a house is a liability. It is a liability. It never goes away. But the only thing is, if your house is paid for, it becomes somewhat of an asset. I can always go tap into it. It may be somewhat illiquid because you can't just go get the money tomorrow, but I can get a HELOC with no appraisal and no inspection in 2 minutes and have a loan closed within 2 weeks. So that's how you got to look at those things. And we're not accumulating that. Sitting paying somebody else's rent right now, it's okay because you're all in that situation. It's better for you because taking that money to go pay this high ass rent, I mean, this high the high rate on the mortgages, and then the prices for some of these houses, it's absurd, man. And then when things kind of come crashing down, you're upside down in your house. Like some people that bought houses in the last couple of years, the house you bought for $1,000 is only worth $380 now, or $340 or $370, depending on how the market is going. So
that's a fact.
The principles are there. We just got to be able to follow the plan. We're not following the plan because we don't really care about the plan. And I'm telling you, that's why I had Finlit, and I say let's have these conversations and let's network, because we're not talking about it. We want to get around and we're talking dumb shit. It's not really good information. We're not sharing stuff. And when I say tangible information, something that I can actually use is viable, not something I can't use and all this other kind of stuff. We're wasting the airways with that. Get down to this, drill down, so this way we can start to build something, and then we can actually network. Then you got a real network. What we're doing is it's a pseudo type of attempt at it. We're faking it all. Everybody's a businessman, everybody got this, everybody got that, but nobody really have no money. They're not really making any moves. They're not doing this and they're doing that. I went on YouTube and I just told my wife, I was like, man, I always notice, especially when it comes down to black folks, we always got to have some extra shit in order to learn about financial literacy. It can't just be, that's why the 101, we miss it. The 101 shit, which is going to help us be financially debt-free and financially free. We don't want that. We want to go for, oh, somebody said such and such, I can do this certain thing and it's a technique. And if you do this technique and you put here, this and there, and you put some money over here, and you take some money off the credit card and then you pay that with this, it's always this freaking Mickey Mouse shit. And it's like, you know why you're listening to that? Because you're the same person who's gonna go play lotto. You're looking for something quick. You want instant gratification. I call it that microwave love, popcorn love. You do not want to work hard. I have some things that I'm putting together for my next Finlit, and it's basically we're in survival mode. I'm gonna give you a little snapshot. You're in survival mode. Do you want to survive? If you're surviving, what you do, you're bobbing your head in and out of water. Every night you take a gas and you go right back underneath the water. Most people would love to be in survival mode. A lot of people that I know are in survival mode. They're just surviving. They do not want to get out of that mode. So the only way you get out of that mode is if, in fact, you actually have some discipline. You got to have some discipline and say, hey, I'm going to do this. Throughout that discipline, there has to be sacrifice. This is the number one thing that I'm seeing when I'm talking to all these different people. No sacrifice. Nobody wants to sacrifice anything. You want instant gratification. You want it right now. You don't want to wait. Somebody else got it. You see somebody on Facebook, they just got a new car, the new shoes, or whatever the fuck they got. Now you want that shit right now. You're not going to stay. You know your finances. You know your situation. You fucked up in the game. So no way you're going to get out of that is say, hey, man, I'm putting the blinders on. I'm going to be disciplined, and I'm going to make sure I sacrifice the right things. I don't want to survive in that survival mode. And then you have to be patient. We don't have any patience, instant gratification. I want that shit now. Why do I have to do this now? I got this. I can do it right now. No, you can't do it right now. What are you looking at? That's why I say when I talk to people, don't even mention retirement. I told you I got my son working for me. I'm about next 24, not even 24 months. Next 14 months, I'm going to buy a boat. I'm going fishing. I'm going to be cruising the Bahamas and relaxing. That's what I'm going to be doing because I have discipline and I know I have a direction and I have patience. I'm not looking, I got delayed gratification. I constantly dollar cost average into all my different things. And I'm self-directing all my investments. I'm on top of all my investments. I do it myself. And I'm looking for new investments. I'm looking at some multi-family stuff right now. So that's where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And this is where my mind is at. And I stay disciplined with that. Most people don't, they lack that discipline and they just want that feel-good stuff. That instant gratification is what's killing you because you just want it now. You don't want to work for it. Put your head down before you know it. You have what you need to have. I haven't met anybody in a long time that have 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. I'll be somewhere, we go to parties, we go to all these different places we've been going over the last couple of months. You go to talk to people. And then it's so funny because people will tell you their whole life story. They get on Facebook and tell you everything they ate for breakfast, what they did today, what their shoe size is, all kind of shit. But they won't tell you if they got that 3 to 6 months though. They won't talk about the finance. They won't talk about their money. We so private about that. And that's the stuff you need to talk about because you have a problem and you need help. A lot of folks need
And you
intervention.
need help.
You need help. And you need intervention because you're having a problem.
You need reformation.
I look at a lot of people's situation, Mac. I could not be in a situation like that and keep living that reality that long. That would drive me nuts. I can't be scrubbing my knees on the ground for that long and then not try to look for a way out. And then the most of the way out is up here. It's the financial education and sticking to the plan. I could never do that. That would drive me crazy. It's insanity because you're really doing the same thing over and over, looking for a different result, and you're never really going to get that until you buckle down. If you, I said it before years ago, 10 years, man, 5 years. I have short-term goals and long-term goals. The folks that are not winning, they're looking at is short-term goals. And they're not even really lofty goals. They're not really goals that are really, that you're really shooting for. They're just little bullshit goals. And they're not sticking to them. And they living outside of their means and they spending money on non-essential stuff. I could go back, like I told you, with the 24-hour snapshot, and I could say, okay, you had an opportunity here to win, and you didn't win. You went on vacation. You had an opportunity here to win. You decided that you wanted a new car that you didn't need, and you come up with an excuse why you had to get this car. The interest rate is crazy, and you took your money to put as a down payment, and now the car ain't working that good. It's just doing a whole bunch of silly shit that don't make sense. Every time you get a windfall, you blowing your money. It's like, oh, I don't have nothing to do with it. There's no, you know why? Because you're in an extreme dismal state, and you're not looking towards the future. I already told you, it's too many people. 77% of Social Security is not going to really be there in 2035. How are you going to live? If you scrubbing right now, what you think going to happen? You're going to work for the rest of your life. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be that guy who's 78 or that girl 78 years old, and you're going to go to work. The cost of living is getting higher and higher. I'm going to give you, let me see if I have it right here somewhere. I'm going to tell you something that's really, really interesting with stuff. With things with how things have been changed. Here you go. And 75% of workers are concerned about their financial future. So now, listen to this, since 1979, wages for the bottom 90% of earners had just grown 15%. I'm gonna say it again. Since 1979, wages for the bottom 90% of earners had only grown 15%. Compared to 138% for the top 1%. Now think about it. From 1979 to now, that's like damn near 40-some years, 42, 43 years. And wages have only grown 15%. The minimum wage right now is $11 per hour. They got up until, I think, 2028 to go up to $15 an hour. $15 an hour is not a living wage. It's not. Right now, every American needs to be making, individual, not a household. You need to be making at least, $100,000 in order to really make it right now. That's the reality of it. That's because we're in a high inflationary environment, and that's where you need to be making. If you're not making that, it's not something against somebody saying, oh, well, I can't make that. It's not against you. You're probably making enough money to stack up, but you won't even stack up. That's why I say that I can start from zero and I'll surpass you within 5 years and making less money than you. I brought this house and I came from making $14 an hour back in 2007. Bought this house in 18 months. Just was keeping my head to the ground, got my bonuses, was grinding, doing a little hustle work, and I made it pop because I was serious. I have a goal. Most people don't have no goal. There's no real goal in me. I talk to a lot of people, especially a lot in the last 4 or 5 months. I've been talking to a lot of people, and I'm seeing that there's no real goal. There's no direction. I don't know if the social media, what has happened to us, but we've kind of lost that fire and that desire. With stocks and stuff, right? I'm gonna give you an example of something. They'll have their earnings call. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they have an earnings call and they'll say, hey, we're gonna report our earnings for this quarter. And if they do good, most of the time the stock raises. But a lot of times there are different factors with the earnings call. One of them is guidance. So I tell my wife all the time, I say, look, I'm looking at a lot of people and I'm looking at their structure where, the man and the woman and the children and stuff, nobody's a leader. There's no true guidance. They're just kind of floating around and just playing around. There's no true guidance. So if you don't have guidance, there's no direction. There's no flow. You're just kind of just hanging out there. And then what's going to happen, you're going to watch year after year go by and you're just getting by. Once again, like I said, you're wading in the water. That's survival mode. You don't want to be survival mode. You got to be able to sustain yourself and get out of that survival mode, because then you're looking to get wiped out. That's how everybody keep getting wiped out. Oh, I didn't see this. I didn't see that. You're too grown to not see this shit, man. You're too big. You're too grown. It don't make any sense. There's a lot of education out there. You can get the education and start today and be able to actually put some money down, because I don't understand how you're living and you don't have at least that 6 months. And especially when you're making money. If you broke and you just move off, came out your mama house and you just started a new job and you came out of rehab or something and your whole life is anew, I can give you a break. But if you've been out here working and you can work and hustle and do your thing, you got to get an education, man, about this money so you can actually start to make this money work for you. Because you're not making it work for you. You're just working for money. And you can do that to the day you die. Compounded interest is working against people who have that bad mentality. Compound interest is working with me, a person like me. I'm investing my money in people that are like me and investing their money. Compounded interest, like Albert Einstein said, he's one of the most powerful things in the world. It's compounded interest. That compounded interest on the other end works against people who are taking credit card loans at 20%. It's working against people who are going out and borrowing. Hey, let me get $100, and they're paying $15 to $30 in fees for every $100 that they borrow. The average amount is $345. So now if you borrowing $345, you're giving back a minimum of about $80 to $100 back just to borrow $345. How are you going to win like that? That makes no sense. And you have to get to the non-essential stuff. Leave that stuff alone. We're still into that. Even with groceries and stuff like that. I'm talking to people, I'm saying, man, why you spend so eating out? Why are you even eating out? You don't have your goals. You ain't in line with your goals. There's no eating out. Me and Phil went through our finances. I was like, look, how many years
You
ago?
got me guilty for that one.
We
You're
didn't
right
take
about
no
that. Why would
vacation
I
for
be eating
years.
out?
Yeah, we didn't take vacation for years. We took no vacation. We was hitting a dollar menu up, probably eating that good, hitting a dollar menu up and getting it smacking. You got to take the sacrifice. There's no sacrifice. Now, everybody just want to be big with it because you don't want to look like you like that. And it's a shame because that's not being an adult. What's really a shame is that what do you really teach your children? Because you can't teach them shit. When they graduate out of high school and they can be at the same level you are, and you've been out here doing this for 20, 30 plus years before they even started. That's when you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what the fuck am I doing? And you have to have some progress. Me, myself, I'm very hard on myself. Oh, I didn't do this and that. I write down my goals. I'm talking to people, I'm like, what your goals are? You should be spewing them out. I have my goals written down. They change because I say, okay, I knocked that out. I got this done. Okay, this is what I got to do next. And I'm excited for the challenge so I can knock out some new goals to get myself whatever. Like I said, I want to be retired. I want to have enough money to do this. I want to start a business. I want to work and do this. I have to do stuff, redo my website, rebuild my website, pay off my house. Anything I have to do, I put that on paper and I work towards it. I'm talking to folks, there's no goals. There's not one goal. And then what you're doing, you're looking to play the lotto and hit it big. Oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to work. That's not going to work. It's not much thought that went into it. You're gambling instead of saying, that's what the same way I was saying when I came in. Drop your debt. I'm seeing folks going out here buying stuff and doing stuff and you got debt. Oh, I came up. I just get a payday. I got 15K. You got 15K, but if I go and I look, I say you got $22,000 worth of debt. You don't really have 15K. And what you take that 15K, I'm going on vacation, I'm buying some new boots, I'm getting my hair done and all this other kind of stuff. Girls be buying big purses and stuff. And it's like, okay, but you broke though. You need a car. You don't have no money in the bank. You have your 3 to 6. You just got a big payday and your money gone. And within like 2 or 3 months, your money gone. You're right back to where you were before when you got a windfall. And then the same when somebody catch you next year and you broke, you're like, well, man, it's just been so hard. It has not been hard. You're making it hard because it's self-sabotage. You had an opportunity, you didn't do it. Believe it or not, man, most majority of people that I've been working with don't even have $1,000 in the bank. And when you look at it, yes, what is that, look it up when you get a chance. 61% of Americans don't even have 400. They don't have 400 and they can't handle an emergency that's $1,000. They cannot handle a $1,000 emergency. And that's just a fact. And
It's a bad state for Aboriginal Wall Street right there.
Bad
If that's
state.
what you got to hear, you got to hear it from the horse's mouth. $1,000. See, you had me at a challenge. You had me at a challenge when you told me a while back about the 3 months. And I had evaluated it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I need 3 months before I invest in anything outside of that. I need to know if something goes wrong. You feel me, guy? Like, I got 3 months because something could happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then you got to know outside of that, you can maintain your bills that you got going on currently, and then start to hit attack, like you said, disciplinely go after the debt that's
Right.
affecting you from being able to really invest. Because now you got your money stacked for something happens for 90 days. You have a little money now because you built that nest egg to invest in something that can now bring you more income in to alleviate. Like you said, it's a plan that has to be in place. And like you said, you're right. People are definitely distracted, and the goals are not laid out for them to walk them out in an upright manner because of the fact of the distractions we got going on. Hey, right, left, follow your own. Go, you said, focus, middle path. That's within you to write down what you got to go do to make what you got to make happen. And faith without the work is dead. So all that you saying and having fun and yeah, without the work behind it and the discipline, like you said, there's no reformation. You know what I'm saying? You will not redeem yourself if you don't go about what you're saying. And that's what folks says in religious manner too. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. Faith without good works is dead. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? However they want to go about it. You know what I mean? That's just in the law. You know what I mean? So I know we getting ready to get out of here. Is there anything you want to say? We get out of here and sad before you get out of here too. I'll let you say something. And I appreciate y'all for pulling up on us. And I know I'll
No,
see
I mean
y'all.
that's just the gist of it. I didn't want to get into. There's so many things going on. You know, some things going on with BRICS right now. There's actually 6 other countries
That bricks.
that are coming into the BRICS. I've been talking about that for over a year, but it's that they're coming into the BRICS. UAE is now in there. Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and I'm missing like maybe 1 or 2 other ones. They're coming in, and that's getting away from the dollar. It's the de-dollarization of getting away from the American currency right now. That's happening, and that's a good thing. I mean, like the lady said, they're not going to stop other countries from being able to trade amongst each other, but they want to get away from that. You may or may not be familiar with this, but there's a Moody rating, a rating that rates America's credit, and America's credit rating went down. I think they're AA or double A now. And that hurts them because other nations, when they go to borrow, their credit worthiness is a little lower than it was before. And a lot of these nations are just trying to get away from the dollar because we're spending the dollar. It's the Federal Reserve currency, the reserve currency of the world, the global reserve currency, and they want to get away from that because we just print money carelessly. Like I said, we've given a certain amount of money over to Ukraine, which we shouldn't be giving, and that's another thing that's driving inflation crazy because we keep printing money. I think it's like if I'm not mistaken, I think it's somewhere around $100-something billion that we've given over to Ukraine, which we shouldn't be giving to it. But that's another problem that we have. And so other nations around the world are saying, you're going to keep giving this money out. This is our money. We have to pay that back. Taxpayers are paying that back. You're giving all this money out, but you're not being able to get inflation under control over here. And your money is no good. Those people are saying, I don't want your money. You keep your money because you could just print it. They ain't really worth shit. We want our own thing, and they're buying oil and that. So you're seeing a lot of nations that are turning away from that. And essentially, that's not going to be good. Just to drop this real quick, and I'll probably get into detail the next time. But this has been the longest running empire as far as the longest running currency in the history of the world. So it's about time within probably the next 20 years or so that something else comes in and knocks it out. I'm hoping that essentially that people start to go with Bitcoin, and that can be used as another form of currency. It is a store of value, a hedge against inflation. I'm looking at that being it, or whatever thing else comes out. But right now, a lot of nations are getting away from the dollar. So I'll just end on that.
Appreciate you saying that. That's a fact. Sab, before we get out of here, man, appreciate you pulling up on us for Aboriginal Wall Street. Something you want to say?
Nah, man. You know, Money Water hit it on the dot. Master Ether hit it on the dot. You know, just people, financial literacy, the people's lack of knowledge. You know, that's what the scripture says, that my people suffer for the lack of knowledge, not because of the lack of faith, not because of the lack of spiritual development, not because of the lack of anything except knowledge. And I think the problem really boils down is to it's recreation. You look at that word rec creation, and that's what it is, man. Everybody's mind, people's they spend their time, destroying themselves through entertainment. It's more important for them to, spend money and to enjoy themselves. Even I love sports. Don't get me wrong, but these athletes are making millions of dollars, and people are broke, and they're gonna go out of their way to, pay for tickets to go to a game, or to support these multi-million-dollar athletes and stars. Like, it's so more important for people to spend time, getting their entertainment in and recreation than it is to get education, get the knowledge so that they can get themselves out of, poverty, get them out of that. And it all starts right here. You know what I'm saying? So the word repent literally means to turn around and to change your mind, and that's what we need to do. Repent, because the kingdom of God is at hand. It's time. People need to wake up and get the knowledge. And it's disappointing when you see it, Master Ether. When you start looking at like the basic simple 101, people don't want that. Like you said, I agree with you. I mean, I call my course Business Credit 101, and a lot of people don't want it, but they want to buy that fancy course that promises them that shortcut to get that money fast. And you know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to second.
These are the facts.
I see it.
Hey, they be shining that little, they be shining that shiny thing in your face, and you be looking at that like that. You be like, hey, look at that little shiny thing hanging right there, and everybody like this. It literally, I want that. I want that. You know what I'm saying? And really, it's right before you. You can give somebody a path, and you can get distracted by this red thing right here, this shiny thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. I'm not going to front. I mean, that happens with myself too sometimes. Like, I really be like, I'll be on my path discipline, and I see some shit like, well, that shit do look kind of like how you feel me, man? I ain't gonna lie. That might be a quick little come up though. You tell me I can turn 5 into 10. Hold on now, wait a second. Let me pause on this grind I'm on. So you telling me I can make 5 into 10? I'm gonna try to get the time. I'm a gambler, so I had to learn not to gamble. I had to be disciplined about that too. See, because I ain't gonna lie. See, I tell the truth. I tell the truth about myself when it comes to economics. I know, you know what I'm saying? I've made a lot of money, but at the same time, you said you go end up spending the money if you don't manage the money and prioritize what you do with your money to be able, you can have houses, cars, and all that stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's the truth. When you have to be disciplined, you know what I mean, and reform yourself.
What's so interesting about that is that you take $1,000, you give somebody who's financially literate $1,000, they turn $1,000 into $10,000. You take somebody who's not financially literate, literate, and then you'll give them $1,000, and they'll turn it into $10,000 worth of debt. Now, I've seen it because they look at, I got that money, so I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna take out a loan for that, and then I'm gonna use that, I'm gonna borrow against this, and they got some. They're not even smart, because what they're doing is they're outfoxing themselves, and they're using these weird systems to try to come up. If you can't come up, man, you pay your debt off. You save your money, whatever little money it is. If you're not making enough money, you're gonna have to grind up. You got 2 incomes. There's no reason that you shouldn't win. If you can't do it, you're gonna need to go to school. I'm blown away, and just to drop this real quick, about how many people come over here from other countries, and they come over here and gain a little skill, or they got a little skill that they had, and they ain't even that good at it. And they'll go and put something up on Facebook. They'll be on Craigslist. They'll be all over the place, Thumbtack and all these other places, trying to sell their skill and get a business going. And you're still around here playing around and don't know where the money's at. It's blowing my mind, because it's opportunity there. You don't want to say, let me go be a plumber. The course take a year. Let me go be an electrician. I could be an electrician in a year. Go do some HVAC. You can start your own business tomorrow once you get that going on. We're not interested in actually doing any work. We're looking for an easy way out, and that's why you're not winning. And the people who winning, they put their head down. 3 years later, they disappear. You said, they ain't seen you in a long time. Oh, so you got this, you got that. Yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that now. And they just blow your mind, because they actually were doing some work. Like I told you, I was telling T, I was like, dang, man, for years we didn't take a vacation. We didn't do certain things. Sacrifice, man. Get yourself in the zone. And then after a while, you get so hard in the zone that you be like challenging yourself. Dang, I don't want to do that. It's a necessity. You don't even want to buy it. You don't even want to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, for real. You be like, fuck it. Yeah, for real. You be like, man, I don't want
So, man, you got enough money to be on vacation. It's just a challenge. You're ready to meet the challenge and succeed. What somebody was saying.
No. Kobe was like, I don't need that toilet paper.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Toilet paper talking shit. Yeah, that
but
part.
It's true, though. You just get to the point you start cutting and slicing so many different things that it starts to be fun, and you're meeting the challenge. If you keep the other mentality, you're making it a chore, and then it's going to be ugly for you. And we're adults, man. Remember, adults is not about what you want to do; it's what you need to do.
That's the truth. You know, they say you gotta. My dad used to say it to me all the time. You get what you need, then you get what you want.
Indeed.
Because if you got what you need, you're gonna have what you want. But if you go after what you want, then what happens is you might not have what you need.
Indeed.
And then what happens is now you ain't got what you need, you're gonna be in debt because the only thing you have is what you wanted. And that's gone too. You know what I'm saying? So because wants go, they don't stay. You have to maintain them just like anything else.
That's a value system. That's a value system. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's what it is. So go, hey, I like nice things. I like to buy quality things. I didn't tell nobody to go buy nothing cheap. I'm not gonna tell nobody that. But what we're saying is you gotta put your priorities, as you say, you know what I'm saying, on certain things. So, we appreciate everybody tapped in with us. We'll be back in season. So, September, October, November, December, 4 joints. We got 3 more to go for the rest of this year. Aboriginal Wall Street. Obviously, you see our guests and a couple other guests we're going to be trying to get on a panel discussion of Aboriginal Wall Street and these type of things. Outside of the other things y'all know we do as the Autonomous Party and we'll be tapped into. Obviously, historical things and different guests. We got some different guests coming up in this month. So, some historical people going to pull up on us and stuff too. I got some surprises. You just going to have to check out the Instagram and Facebook and everything that we promote on to show you what we got coming up every Sunday. And we appreciate y'all for pulling up on us. We're going to let Blaze take us out of here with that Maroon J joint. You know what I'm saying? Part of my autonomy. It's going to come out soon. We're going to drop that. I think Maroon J, we're going to drop this. We're going to make this official. So tap in with this. You know what I mean? Blaze, Money Corner, Sav, the approved guy. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night, man. Tap in with us, y'all.
Love, love, love.
Nothing but love.
Peace, y'all.
Rashad, Maranatha, Tawahidu, Tahid. You know what I'm saying? Yashida. All that good stuff. The harsh reality is live life autonomous. You heard? Blaze.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
This could take quite a bit of time.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke with a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments tried to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Estelusti. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding Ruchis. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black horses the same color the European. Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folk. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.